Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching or listening to me from. My name is AyoT, and this is the Naija FC Podcast on EaglesTracker, the home of Nigerian football. On today's episode, we have a lot to discuss. We'll be reviewing the 2026 World Cup. Is there anything that Nigeria can learn from the tournament now that we've seen the conclusion? We have some transfer rumors and reports. Chibuike Nwaiwu, Raphael Onyedika, Gift Orban, Kelechi Iheanacho, Omewa. We have the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. We have the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And of course, we have something that's happening in-house with the EaglesTracker Awards 2026. And of course, as always, to discuss all of these topics with me, I have my reliable co-host, the Nigeria Football Encyclopedia, the one, the only, Smith Layi.
Yeah,
Welcome.
nice to be here. And IoT, thanks for having me.
Yes, another fantastic Monday and another day with a lot to discuss. So let us get into it. Smilai, the 2026 FIFA World Cup has come and has gone. Lots of games, lots of goals. Spain crowned the champions of the World Cup. What do you think about that? Do you think Spain were deserving champions? What did you think about the final?
I think if you are a football fan, you will agree with me that football won
Mm.
right from the start. I think Spain played the best football. I think right from the game against Saudi Arabia, Uruguay to Portugal, they have the most difficult routes and they won. So it's for me, I think football won. So Spain are deserved champion, and I'm actually what happy that they won.
Yeah. I would say that in the beginning, I was tipping France because France seemed like they were blowing everybody out the park. But
I
of
told you.
course, we saw how Spain humbled. We saw how Spain humbled France, and from that point, it became quite evident. Shout out to Lionel Messi. Shout out to Argentina. They fought hard, man. They came back in multiple games. They fought hard, but before the final, when people were asking me, I kept telling everybody I think Spain will win. Argentina showed that their midfield is quite, can crumble. They can concede a goal, and when they concede, I just knew that Spain have too much quality to allow them come back the way they've been coming back. It took Spain a long time. Argentina fought, man, even with one man down. After Enzo Fernandez's red card, they fought. But I knew that Spain would eventually get the goal, and when they did, I wasn't surprised at all. Of course, they had one disallowed earlier. They had some near chances. When you see the statistics, and yeah, at 117 minutes, Argentina have not even had a single shot on target. It's like you'll be wondering, is this the World Cup final or is this Spain against Cape Verde?
Mm.
That's how crazy it was. No, they were completely outplayed. And look, it's not how you want a final to be, but at the end of the day, I knew it was not going to be a high scoring affair. I knew that Spain were going to do a professional job, and I expected them to get the win, which they eventually got. Lamine Yamal did not really do too much. Ferran Torres came on, scored the winner, but I'm happy with the results. For me, I'm happy for Marc Cucurella. I know that he's going to Real Madrid, but in this tournament, he was still representing Chelsea, so I'll take it. That he won it as a Chelsea player. Back-to-back World Cups, a Chelsea player has won. Well, I guess Enzo was not a Chelsea player then, so maybe I should not claim that one. But at least I'm happy that Marc Cucurella won the World Cup. Now he can go to Madrid and start the new chapter in his journey. England against France, though, it's like that third place match. That is the example of what I know it is anti-football, but that's what I wish every football match was. If you want to introduce somebody to football for the first time, that was the perfect game to introduce the person to football. Let them think that it's like basketball, that is just go score, go score, go score. That game was crazy. 6-4. What do you think about that third place game?
For me, if you are a defender, I was, and you will not be happy with
Yes.
the way the game actually panned out. For me, I think some people like it. I wasn't impressed, and
Mm.
especially with the defending. Ibrahim Konate was like he just ate fufu. It was horrible throughout the first half. And,
Malo Gusto,
it was
Malo
like
Gusto was so
Malo
bad.
Gusto was horrible. It's like they forgot how to defend. I saw Tio and everybody just forgot how to defend. Even England in the second half, like Gerard Costa, it was like they were just passing him as if he wasn't there at all. So I just, to be honest with you, Mbappe ended up with the golden boots, with two goals in that useless game. For me, I think that they should cancel the third place playoff. I don't think it's worth it. Imagine. Why can't you go and score those goals in the final?
Yeah.
I just think that it doesn't matter. It's like you are rewarding failure.
Mm.
The goals should be scored in the most important games.
Mm.
Not for you to be winning stuff.
It's a tricky thing because I think there has to be a third place match. If we have the winner, we have the second place
There's no
team.
okay, yeah. There's no
I think it's not every tournament that has third place. Champions League does not have third place, all kind of things. But I think I like the fact of the World Cup having first, second, third. I just like it, for the World Cup. But I also understand what you're saying about, Mbappe goes and scores 2 goals in the third place match, wins the Golden Boot, becomes the top scorer in World Cup history. It kind of diminishes it because if you just look at it on face value, Messi obviously had a tougher match because he is playing in the final, whereas one is playing in the third place game. So if you had to guess, you would have guessed that Mbappe is more likely to score a goal, in that game. The only thing is that, can you say, the result, the stats will not count for that match? If you say the stats will not count, it will kind of be silly, it will kind of make it somehow. So if the match is existing, then the statistics have to count. But I do understand when you say like, it's almost like you're rewarding him for playing third place. Should Messi have lost the game so that he'll go and score a trick, and then him to say it was the Golden Boot winner? So it's a tricky one, but I just like, first, second, third. Nobody likes to win third place, but we have it. Same thing with AFCON final. Most teams will even rotate their squads, everything. So it's kind of like for me, I kind of look at it as maybe that's like the novelty match. It's like, okay, you guys have enjoyed the tournament, so just come, let's just enjoy ourselves one last time. And that's why I said I understand what you're saying. From a purely football point of view, tactics out the window, defending out the window, that's not football. But from just an entertainment point of view, 10 goals in one match. That's why I said, if you have an American friend and you wanted them to watch football for the first time, you play that match for them, they'll be in love. Then they now have to watch that final that there was no goal. Then they'll be wondering if it's the same sport. For me, I just think I was watching that game, that England game in particular, and look, we saw it throughout this tournament. Jude Bellingham, boy, that guy is such a player. Such a player. Too good. And I'm just like, God, I beg, can you give us somebody like that can wear the green and lemon green or white jersey, whatever color that we wear for Nigeria? Because Jude Bellingham, the work that he does in the midfield, dribbling with the ball, finishing, arriving late in the box, linking up with his teammates, everything. Look at the way he put Lacroix on the ground for that.
Can put Lacroix.
Lacroix might.
You want to go and sign him now?
He's trying to sign. Lacroix, my team is trying to sign. Oh man, defending. Even my other Chelsea defender of the Chaluba, they brought him on for the last how many minutes to just come and play. Dembele still managed to sit him down before the game ended. Well, it's well with Chelsea. But I just thought Jude Bellingham, man, that guy is so good. And yeah, I wish we when you watch players like this, you realize that there's levels to this thing, man. With all due respect, as much as we praise our own players, there's another level that they are yet to even scratch the surface of. It's crazy. But overall, the World Cup was entertaining. I think it's delivered. The 64 team tournaments absolutely delivered, in my own opinion. Even some of the smaller nations that people thought their games would be irrelevant, their games would be boring, I thought they absolutely delivered. And I'm looking forward to 2030, man. By the grace of God, Nigeria will be there. As we couldn't all meet in USA, Canada, Mexico for this one, maybe we would all be meeting in Morocco, Portugal, this thing for the next one. Who knows? I'm not going to Argentina, but it's only the opening games I'll be there now. No,
you might be more than that now, but let's continue.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm possible.
But if I could ask you a few questions about the World Cup, just who is the best African player in this World Cup?
The best African player of this World Cup? Ooh, Sabari.
Yeah, I think I still agree with you.
Yeah,
I think it's close between Ismail Assar and Ismail.
Ismail Assar was very good as well. Yeah, I think I would just give Sabari because Morocco did better than Senegal overall. It's the way Rodri won Golden Ball. Let's be honest, Messi was better than Rodri.
That
but
Rodri, yes.
Rodri,
Yes, yes, my
Rodri
brother.
won the final, so they gave him the golden ball.
You
So
get the
that's why
ball,
I'll
yes,
pick.
I know.
That's why I'll pick
So
Cyber.
my other one is that who is the best young player for Africa?
African young player in this
Yeah.
tournament. Hmm. That's a tricky one now. Give me options. Remind me which
Ayu
young players can
Buadi.
that one.
Uh,
I think Buadi was just very, very hyped, but I don't think it was anything crazy.
okay.
Who else?
Ayu Buadi, then Mbaye of Senegal. That scored a beautiful goal against France, in
Mm,
the opening
who
game.
else?
And Nyeranchi of Ghana that scored against Panama.
Mm,
So
who
then
else?
of course is there.
Then if those are the options, then I'll give it to Buadi. If these are the options, I'll
Nkunku
give it to Buadi.
of
But
Congo.
nah. Even Sadiki that I thought could have a good
And
tournament,
Noah Sadiki. I
did
don't
not
think he
really
actually
do
was.
anything.
What
Yeah.
about Mazda of Algeria?
No, that's the thing. Mazda did not impress me the way he impressed at the
Never, yeah,
AFCON. You
AFCON,
know.
yeah. So I
So
think it's Ayub Buadi.
yeah, I'll have to give Wadi.
Yeah.
Somebody said Wozinha.
Was that the oldest African player? This was go. Yes, this was here. So what about the best goalkeeper? That's final one.
For Africa.
Yes.
I mean, you give Wozinha. He impressed. At
Yeah, I
40
think.
years old, making
Mm-hmm.
saves. Like Cape Bread. You know that you're going. It's fire for fire. You're going to be getting pommeled left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So I thought he did very well. I thought Wozinha did well, and now he's going to is it Kolo Kolo or what did they say he's going to? So
Yeah, I think Kolo Kolo, yeah, Kolo Kolo.
mm.
This one was
So
against now.
what do you say?
Oh, Chile. Is it Chile or against now? Kolo Kolo. Kolo Kolo
Yeah,
is in Chile.
is it Chile?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. But yeah,
I think I
okay.
might watch Copa. Yeah, Kolo Kolo, yeah.
Okay. Somebody is there who's going to win the next African Player of the Year.
It's good from this World Cup. I think it's going to be Hakimi.
Hakimi. PSG won the
PSG won
Champions
and
League, won the
quarterfinal,
French League.
quarter
Yeah,
final, yeah, and
quarterfinal.
AFCON winners.
Hakimi looks
Yeah.
like the front runner for that one.
hmm
You
No,
know.
no contender.
Mm. Will Osimhen be nominated with his
No, no,
goals
no. He
for
didn't. He
Galatasaray?
didn't. It's not. He didn't do well. He did. He has a very good AFCON. Don't get me wrong, but I think the club career is not.
Ismail Assar nominated?
Yeah. Conference League. He's going to be nominated, and I think they will probably put one Moroccan to join. With it.
Mm.
So
Brahim Diaz? Or which Moroccan would they
yeah, I
put?
think it's with Brahim Diaz. They're going to just add to it because he did nothing. He was on the bench in Real Madrid. He did nothing, but just because of the Moroccan this thing, they can even go and put Ayub Buadi there now.
I
Never
know
know.
the young player they can put in, but not
Yeah, I
for.
think he's going to win the Young Player of the Year
Mm.
for the yeah.
Somebody said Diomande and Boadi were the revelation. Diomande, he had a lot of hype, but did he really do anything? Like, did he
Consistent.
really do anything? If you think about
Yeah.
it, did he really do anything? And his agency issue now is causing problem for him with his transfer. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see what he did that everybody is hyping him to the high heavens. He's a tricky player. For me, Diomande is like a Zadok Ioana. See, you can see that he has raw talent, he has ability. Don't get me wrong, that was a joke. He has played at a level that Ioana is yet to play at. But what I'm just saying is that you can tell that he has natural ability, he has raw talent. But then when he gets into the final third, decision making is not always the best. He doesn't always create something. And at the end of the day, if you're a tricky forward, we've seen tricky forwards before. We've seen Samuel Chukwueze, we've seen Samuel Kalu, we've seen Moses Simon. At the end of the day, at that highest level, your output is what matters. How many goals, how many assists, how many chances do you create? How many key passes? That's really what matters. And to me, Diomande did not really give me much of that at the World Cup, but he's still on the verge of a potentially big move. Let's see what happens with him. But yes, shout out to Remy Ali for the super chat, man. I appreciate you always supporting every single live stream. So, guys, he has set the ball rolling. It's now left for you guys to follow up. And I also saw Manolo Etuk sent a high five with 100 joules. So thank you very much for that. It means that he's watching on mobile because it's on mobile that you can send joules. So yes, thank you very much. Okay. Let us keep. Oh no, sorry. On the World Cup, Smith. Now that we've watched from home for the second time, is there anything that we can learn? Are there any notes for us to take back? Or is this just a World Cup that has come and has gone from a Nigerian perspective?
Will Nigeria learn? That is issue. See, IoT. one thing that we can take home from this World Cup is preparation will meet what performance.
Hmm.
So, and when you prepare, you will perform. That is it. So we need to be intentional in what we do so that we can get results. You cannot be eating fufu in Abuja, drinking kunu, say you want to go and win the next World Cup. Some countries are already planning on how to win the next World Cup 2 years or 3 years ago. So, I saw the Spain team that won the World Cup. I realized that 9 out of the team played in the last 2 Olympic Games under this manager, under this Fuente in
Yeah,
2020.
De La Fuente.
About 6, 7 of them. In fact, that's why I knew that Unai Simon was his first choice during the Olympic Games then. All these Moreno, all these Zubimendi, Eric Garcia, all of them, they played under him. So we have to be intentional in all these things. Let's try. For me, I think the difference between France and Spain is that Spain had a team that knew themselves very well, but France had the individuals that just come together and play. So that was how I think Spain had the edge, over France in this World Cup. The same thing with Argentina too. Majority of the team that played for Argentina this World Cup, they played in the FIFA 20 World Cup in 2017.
Hmm.
All those Martinez of this world, the Christian Romero, all of these Martinez and Christian Romero were the two center back pairing in that under 20 in Copa America in 2017. So now they're playing the World Cup again. So you can see clearly that is planning. That's what led to all these things. So, in my opinion, I think we need to know and take our age grade seriously. If we take it seriously, blend them in early. Let them know what it takes to play for the national team. And I think we're going to reap the benefits in the nearest future. So for me, I think it has to do with what? Investing more in our age grade team, not to turn it to a supermarket place that you buy and sell players.
Right.
So invest in it, then we can now build on that. Because if we keep on bringing players, individual players around the world, we might not be able to get the team that we want. We might get the team that just takes, but I think we need to invest more. If we are going to invite a player from England in the nearest future, bring him in early for the under 20. Bring him in early for the under 23. Let him know exactly what it takes to play for Nigeria. And from there, we can build. For me, I think it's too late for 2030. I think if you really want to be serious, I think with the Olympic team for 2028 should be ready to play at the World Cup in 2034.
And I mean, all these things you're talking about, these are the things that just make up planning.
Well, you don't know AyoT. You don't know.
Development. Can we set the ball rolling? Can we lay the foundation? Can we create a template so that players can transition properly? One of our biggest things is also when you talk about talent identification. Look at many of the Super Eagles players that are popping up, or many of these, quality players that are popping up for Nigeria. And when you see the number of them that missed out on, being identified as young talents, it's quite incredible. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't many that played in the, at the youth level. There are many of them, but there are also quite a number of them that you'll be wondering, how did this guy somehow not ever get spotted for the under 17 or the under 20s? And while players develop at different rates, some people might be very tall and strong and fast at 17, and they will get selected over somebody that's maybe more diminutive but has more natural ability. It's few and far in between. Usually players progress properly. There is a style that they are working through all these years. That's why somebody like De La Fuente, like you mentioned, can also come from the youth teams and become the coach of the first team. And it's not like he's taking up some brand new job. Can we take the Nigerian at 20 coach and say you want to make him Super Eagles coach today? It would be a huge task for somebody like that. So again, with planning, progression, I don't know. Right now, I'm just hoping and praying maybe FIFA expands the next World Cup so that they will create more chance for us to qualify. Because as it is right now, even with 9.5, we don't know for a fact that Nigeria is going to be a part of it. We cannot beat our chest with confidence because we didn't qualify for the last one. So there's a lot. I really hope that our administrators are taking these things seriously. I hope that they are really thinking about it. That's why, like we're saying, even though it's not the ideal thing on paper, but we're kind of happy that Eric Schell is going to handle the under 23s, just because it creates a little semblance of, okay, maybe there's going to be a progression, because if he coaches these players, he's familiar with them, they are familiar with him and his system, then it can translate and it can progress to the first team. But then the big question is, what happens if somehow Eric Shaw loses his job before, the next World Cup? What happens? Everything that he might have built from the under 23s to the Super Eagles, a new coach will come. Since there is no Nigeria style of play, since there is no Nigeria identity, let's say next 2 years, they hire a new coach. The new coach is going to come and is going to turn everything around. So whatever Eric Shaw might have been teaching the under 23s, they might come to the first team and it's something entirely different that they want to do. It's just incredible because, again, let's reference the world champion Spain. You watch them and you see that since the 2010s to 2016, when they won their last World Cup, to now that they just won the World Cup, yes, there are differences in their style. Then they play maybe a faster tiki-taka. But we've always known that Spain like to play the possession game. We've always known that that's how it is. Their players don't move as much as the ball moves. They get into space. They have quality players that can produce moments of magic here and there. They've changed certain things, like, okay, before they were playing with a false nine. Now they don't really have a false nine. They have more of a natural number 9. But there's an identity to the way the Spanish play. Even the Argentina team, you might not necessarily like the way they play, but there's also, that Argentina, they are playing hard, committing a lot of fouls, breaking down the opposition's play, trying to get Messi on the ball in space and allow Messi to create, try to use their wide players to stretch play a little bit and then come inside and then create opportunities or score goals by themselves. So we really need to have our Nigeria identity. Before, people would say, Shebi is take it to the wings and then, run and cross into the box. Let's even assume that is that. Whether you like it or not, at least that was some sort of identity. Now, identity is completely lost. We just give the ball to Iwobi, let's see what he can do. Or if things are tough, just cross ball, let Osimhen try to create one moment of magic from somewhere. But I really do hope, 2030 might be too soon for us, but maybe 2034. Let's just qualify for 2030. At least qualify, reach the round of 32. At least let them do that one first. I will take it from there. But let me just quickly acknowledge Isaac Sachs. Thank you for the loot box, that you sent. I appreciate it. Thank you very much to everyone that supports the channel with either a super chat or a super sticker or jewels or whatever the case may be. So yes, thank you very much, Isaac Sachs, for that one. I also have Apex. Thank you for the gifts on TikTok. I don't usually get gifts on TikTok, so let me just acknowledge Apex for that one. It's much, much, much appreciated. Okay, Smith Layi, anything you want to add on the World Cup?
Yeah, I just want to say that looking at the playing model too, sometimes if you are building a team, things might not work well for the players. For example, now when they were building the Spanish team in 2010, under Cucurella was in 2022, sorry, 2020, he was playing for Getafe. Was it Getafe or Espanyol? One of the teams. He was playing for Getafe. And Daniel was playing for Dynamo Zagreb in Croatia. So Moreno, I think he was somewhere. Moreno was somewhere. So I think Moreno was in Newcastle. He failed. But look at where Moreno is now. It's Nasta. Look at where Cucurella is now. It's in Real Madrid. Daniel is in FC Barcelona. So sometimes it might not work well. That's why I also think that we have to have a good system in the league. That if it's not working well for these guys, they can come back home and continue. It doesn't mean they're going to lose their quality, but it's going to get to a state that things will now come together for them and they're in a good place. So this team was able to win because these players matured naturally. Cucurella was in Barcelona before he failed. He went to Getafe, to Brighton. I think from Brighton now to Chelsea, from Chelsea to Real Madrid, like you said, to Real Madrid. So all these things can happen to these players, but it's just for them to learn and they can come back to if they have the talent. So nobody thinks that Cucurella will be the winning left back to win the champion, to win the what's it called, UEFA, Euros, and also the World Cup. So for me, I think it's very important that we are patient with these players too, and make sure that we select the right age too for our underage players. Because Paul Kubasi played at the last Olympic Games, and I saw exactly what Paul Kubasi actually was doing now. So for me, I think this age grade system, we need to take it very, very seriously. I'm not going to go to the age grade very quickly now, so I won't just jump into that. But I want to reserve my comments there.
All right. We'll come to the age grade in a little bit, but before we get into national teams properly, let's take some of the transfer reports, some of the transfer rumors, and some of the confirmed transfers that we have as far as Nigerian players are concerned. We've been talking about how this has been a relatively low key, quiet transfer window for Nigerian players, and it continues to remain the same. Some of the transfers that are happening are not the most exciting transfers. There are some rumors that maybe might be good, but nothing that really like jumps out of the screen. I think the biggest one that is looking like it's going to happen is Chibuike Nwaiwu potentially moving to Fulham. I think we spoke about this last week, so I don't want us to dive too deep into it again. But verbal agreement has been reached. We are waiting for official bid to be accepted. We're waiting for final confirmation. It's looking like that. So let's keep tabs on Chibuike Nwaiwu, but we covered that last week. So if you missed it, you can watch last week's stream and you'll get our detailed thoughts on it. We also have another Super Eagles player, Smith Layi, that is maybe going to move. We're talking about Raphael Onyedika. We've heard that Eintracht Frankfurt in the German Bundesliga, they've reached a verbal agreement with Onyedika on contract terms, but Club Brugge rejected their initial offer. Wolfsburg also made an offer that was rejected by Club Brugge. I believe Club Brugge signed Onyedika for about 9.5 million euros back in 2022 from Michelin, and they are looking for something closer to 2025 to be able to let him move. But Eintracht Frankfurt, the German Bundesliga, is this a move that excites you as far as Raphael Onyedika?
Yeah, yeah. For me, I just want him to move. He's now become the chief of Belgium. I heard that he's now a captain Club Brugge. In one of the
In their
games
friendlies, yeah.
during preseason, so he's now becoming a regular there. We expect him to move. Earlier than this, there was. Remember that we talked about Barcelona transfer rumor. The rumor
Yeah.
from right, left, and center, but see, it's for him to go to a more competitive league. I think the Germans also normally build, very good midfielders. So if he goes there, I think it's going to be a very, very, good move for him. I think it's going to also help the national team.
Mm. And do you think he has the tools? He has the qualities? Do you think that the Bundesliga is a league that he will be able to thrive in?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so. I think so. It's not like a fast-paced league like that. It's more of technique.
Technical
Like
league.
you say, technique. So, and I think that Onyedika will thrive in that. It's not the Premier League that before it's from back to post. The wet cold day in Stoke. It's not like that. It's more of a technique thing, and not even that much strength. I think he should be able to thrive there.
Mm. I mean, it's something that's we've spoken about it many times about how it's time for Rafael Onyedika to move on. He's done well in Belgium. He's played in the UEFA Champions League. He's impressed. He's scored some goals. He's created some chances. He's had quality moments. We've been saying it. It's time for him to take the next step in his journey. And I think a move to Frankfurt would keep him on that trajectory. Not the biggest team in Germany for sure. Not a team that we're necessarily thinking about as a contender for the German Bundesliga. But a team that relatively is, a solid team and that does well year to year. They narrowly missed out on the UEFA Conference League. They finished eighth in the league this past season, so they will not be playing in Europe. But I think less games. They have enough quality to go ahead of a team like Freiburg or a team like Hoffenheim or even potentially a team like Bayer Leverkusen. Who knows? So yes, I'm really looking forward to this one getting over the line. I want Onyedika to take his talent to one of the top five leagues. I think he has enough quality. He is not getting any younger at all. What Onyedika is like, how old now? Maybe 26 or thereabout, and 25 years old. And if he's trying to establish himself in the Super Eagles, which he has not been able to do, he's one of those players now that is always going to get called up. He always gets called up to the Super Eagles team, but he doesn't play as much as I'm sure even he would like to play. Even at the last AFCON, we saw him score 2 goals in one group stage game and then get relegated back to being a substitute player. So even one or two quality performances here and there are not necessarily establishing him in the starting 11. And I think that a move to Frankfurt, if he continues to do well playing in the German Bundesliga and then takes more opportunities when he's called up to the national team, can really, really bode well for him. So, yes, that is one that I'm hoping will be finalized, and I'm looking forward to potentially seeing him play in Europe's top five leagues. And it just reduces the amount of attention that I have to pay to a league um, like the Belgian Pro League. The Belgian Pro League is a league that I expect to be watching our rising stars, our up and coming players, Christian Akpan, all those kind of players, Vince Osuji, not necessarily players that are already established in the Super Eagles of Nigeria, So, and I know he's not a striker. If he was a striker, he would have left by now. So, at least when an opportunity like this comes around, I hope that they can get to an agreement with Club Brugge. Club Brugge too can be reasonable, and then from there, we can move on. Okay. Let us keep it pushing. Somebody is saying to Kodare, we already spoke about that one last week as well. There's nothing new that has developed since then. So we'll keep waiting for some updates on that to discuss it again. Let's talk about another transfer that is on the verge of getting completed. Smith Layi, your boy, your boy, Gift Orban has reportedly reached a verbal agreement with Amedspor in the Turkish Super League to join the team on a season-long loan. You say he's not your boy again. Let's get into it. Why is Gift Orban not your boy?
I don't. You see, I just think that his career is following the downward trajectory, and I just think that he's not really managing it well. I told you that he always had that chance of getting opportunities. He went to Lyon, he went to Germany, to Syria, so he couldn't get it. It's only England, that is actually what left, and Spain. So he couldn't cut it in all those leagues, and now he's going to Turkey. For me, I think it's just so sad that his career is like that. So, well, going to Turkey, clubs could not, they don't even want to sign him in Italy. Going to Germany, they don't want to sign him in Germany. Even Belgium, no offer come from Belgium. It's now the Turkish league. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
I mean, you say that he's not really managing himself well. Why do you say that? What makes you think that?
I think he fought sometimes in Italy. I think he fought. I think he fought sometimes in Italy. All these things are just no. I think the attitude. I don't think his actually was really great. And sometimes it's not about the talent alone. It's just about how you can actually relate with teammates, also compose yourself very well, being a
Your
very
character.
good team. Your character. I think that was actually was very vital. I don't think he has managed everything. I think the first thing he did was he had issues first with Lacazette, saying that he's better than Lacazette or things like that. So all those type of things are just very important that you have to just manage yourself well. And I think that right from the first day he had problems with Leon. So in Italy he also had issues in Italy. Everywhere. What
Yeah.
can I say about Gift Orban? So I just think that the career might actually even finish before it started.
And I mean, look, we know that Gift Orban is a very, very, very talented player. We know that. But it's just one of those things that we say, look, how you are perceived and your behavior and all these things, it matters just as much as how good you are in football. Not only for how people even view you, but also just how you are able to keep up yourself. Diego Costa was a fantastic striker before he joined Chelsea and even while he was at Chelsea. But eventually he had to leave Chelsea and he said that he realized that see, you cannot fight with everybody. And some people like to form strong head. Oh, I don't care, I don't give a damn, I'm doing my thing. But sometimes you just have to lock in, calm down. And I don't doubt that this is something that his agent would have been telling him. Because his agent is a respected agent in the Nigerian space. I'm sure he would have been telling him, put your head down, focus. But you cannot keep having controversial situation after controversial situation. At some point, we cannot be blaming the system. We cannot blame Europe. We cannot blame this how they treat bad players. At some point, we have to look at you and say, okay, what are you not doing quite well? Remember, the first one that I can remember was when he started getting some hype after he scored his hat trick in the Conference League and everything. And then there were reports of Arsenal wanting to sign him. And I remember, if you remember that time, where those comments about he wouldn't want to join the team like Arsenal came up. And then he's had issues here and there, celebrations that are unsavory. In April of this year, towards the end of the season, after Hellas Verona got relegated, he was the one that he got into a physical altercation with a fan that he said maybe the fan hit his car or did something to his car and he got down and was nearly fighting the guy. People see all these things. People view all these things. And if you are going to be a striker that has this much controversy, then you better be a striker that is bagging 20 plus goals a season. Because if you're only giving me 7 goals a season and maybe 3 of them are from the penalty spots, you're not justifying the baggage that you come with, the PR hits that a team would necessarily have to take by signing you or by you doing controversial things while you're their player. You're not worth the locker room drama. You're not worth all of that. And that is something that he needs to realize. Gift Orban is no longer a young player. He does not qualify for young player again. He's 24 years old. And this is the way life goes so fast. Careers move on so fast. One day you are the talk of the entire world and the talk of the town. You are scoring the fastest hat-trick in Conference League history. I remember that time he was taking shot from halfway line and hitting the crossbar, and everybody was talking about how wow, like this guy is the next best thing since sliced bread. They fast-tracked him to Super Eagles, everything. And look at it today, like no one thinks about Gift Orban. When you're talking about Nigerian strikers, when you're talking about quality players, no one really thinks of Gift Orban. So I think, he really needs to lock in, man. He needs to get his head down. He needs to refocus. And I guess the Turkish league, it's a league that is trying to help a lot of it's almost like they're doing charity. They say, bring that Nigerian, don't worry, we'll take care of him. If we don't want him, we'll take care of him. But joining even a newly promoted side in the Turkish Super League, I guess that's the part that does not really excite me, because I'm like, okay, Amedspor. As somebody left the funny comments on our Instagram page, you better say, of all the sports for where they Turkey, now this one easy. You did not join any of the other Ankara Gucu, Rizespor, all the Boluspor, all these other teams that are there. It's like it's a newly promoted side that was willing to take the chance on you. It's not completed yet, but that's the only thing about really hearing right now. It's interesting because you're going to go to another team that will be fighting relegation, that will be struggling, that will be hoping that you will stay in the league. But maybe if he scores, like, let's assume Gift Orban goes to Turkey and maybe scores 15 goals, rediscovers his goal scoring form that he had back then in Belgium, and everything. Do you think if he does well, 15, 20 goals in Turkey, that can propel him back to maybe Hoffenheim saying they want to keep him in their first team, or another team coming for him?
No, if he performs well in Turkey, we go to Transport.
The bigger sport.
Yes, before he moves to the next level, because now it's all time low.
Yeah.
It's all time low. If you go to Transport, if you can't perform in Transport, the league will now actually see my actually what get him. See, IoT, I don't want to keep on Gift Orban. We have been saying if for Gift Orban is gang days. We went to Lyon. If he could score 10 goals, at least club will buy him. He did not score. They sent him away. We get to Hoffenheim. If he could score this thing, he did not score. I think they sent him away. When they sent him away, Hoffenheim qualified for Europe.
Yeah.
I think they finished fourth. Why?
Was it fourth or fifth? But they let me confirm. They had a funny season. They finished fifth, yes.
They finished fifth.
Above
So,
Leverkusen.
And sent him away. So they don't want to bring him back. I think the team that went to it, got relegated.
Yes, they got relegated. Hellas Verona.
So see, nobody anywhere is touching. So for me, it's all time low. All this if IoT, he needs to fix so many things. It's just so sad that a career that did not. It have been so good for Nigeria. Though I know it's a dual national. It's also can represent Togo, but I don't know if he's going to represent Togo. But
at this point,
I don't want.
At this point, I mean, he's at a career low right now. The from shining in Belgium, getting his transfers. This is a low for him. Do you think that maybe sometimes in life, not only in football, in life sometimes is when you hit rock bottom and you cannot go lower than that? That is when you get the inspiration, the motivation, the drive, the ginger, and it propels you into new heights. We know that desperation is the mother of invention. So could this maybe be the, he has hit rock bottom now, you can say that, and maybe this is what he needs to refocus to get himself back on track? Or do you think he's going to go to Turkey and still because in trouble?
For me, it's the mentality. I think that he could have used the Serie A to launch his career back, but he did not do that. The Bundesliga that he played for, but so I think he can bounce back. Who knows? Maybe probably in 2 or 3 years talk about Gift Orban again. But for me, I just think it's unlikely. It's unlikely.
And look, I'm going to go back to this from a branding identity point of view. And I know people will say, IoT doesn't really matter. Oh, some of these things. But look, I tell people, perception is reality. Perception
Yes.
is reality. Nobody knows you personally except your family and your close friends. Me, Smith Layi, we don't know Gift Orban. People that are watching this show right now, they don't know Gift Orban in real life. So what they are going to tell you about Gift Orban are the things that they see and the things that they hear. And if people are not seeing and hearing positive things, if people are not seeing and hearing things that they expect from a professional at your level, then they are going to have the wrong perception of you. I saw somebody saying that he behaves more like a rapper than is a footballer. And I laughed. And I'm like, obviously, I'm sure he trains, he's still in good shape, all those kind of things. But again, when people only see you with your big chains, with your tattoos, showing us your expensive outfit, your expensive bag, your expensive this, your expensive wristwatches, all those things. It gives people the impression that you've kind of lost the plot a little bit and you're not really focused on what you are doing. And me, I don't police anybody's pockets, man. Like if you have the money, spend the money. It is your money. If I want to buy an iPhone tomorrow, I'll buy an iPhone. If I want to buy, me, I don't have money to spend $20,000 on jewelry. But if I had the money, I could choose to spend it. Is my problem. So I'm not trying to police how he spends his money, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to create a positive image of yourself, especially to Nigerian fans, to people that support you, to people that want you to do well. And I think that that's something that maybe he can do a little bit of a better job at. Just portray yourself as more serious, more professional,
But
especially when
to
you're going through a tough time. What do you say?
to who?
To the people. To the people, your social media is your biggest individual platform. It's your own TV station. It's where you
Where
control
do you think
narrative.
is got his support base?
I don't really know where he has a support base, but I know that he has people that care about him. A lot of Turkish people have started following him recently after the reports of Amedspor. That's why now he's on 1 million followers. So the Turkish have bombarded him.
They always follow.
They always follow. But for me, it's just about like just portray a positive image, portray a serious player, portray somebody that is playing hard, especially if things are not going well. Is when it's more important to portray these images, and it doesn't appear that he cares how he's perceived. It really doesn't appear to be that. And I know he might be watching this, or he might see this later and he might get upset at what I'm saying. But again, I have to be honest, I have to be realistic. As a footballer, there's a certain image that you don't want to be seen. You don't want to be seen as unserious. You don't want to be seen as somebody that is not taking their career seriously. You don't want to be seen as a problem on or off the field. And a lot of people are saying these kinds of things about him. I cannot say if they are true or not because I don't know him personally, but I think that he needs to maybe do a little bit of a better job of how he carries himself on social media. Spend your money, show the flashy moments and everything, but balance it with football, with hard work, with training, with just being a down to earth person. Because at the end of the day, football is a short career, man. Football is a very short career. Football is a very short career. TC Google said not Turkish, Kurdish, but they are playing in the Turkish league, so. But I understand what you're saying. It's like Swansea. Swansea, they are Welsh, not English, but they play in the English league. But yeah. Viral Momentum says most of our players are not taking personal branding seriously. I mean, many of them are not, and this is something that I've been preaching for donkey years now. Reach out to me. I'll bill you, but reach out to me, and I'll help you, and I'll guide you, and you will still have autonomy of your life, of your career, of your communication, of your social media. But we'll build something well. We'll build something together. I've done this with players in the past, and is reaping the serious benefits, and I'll continue to do this. I've done this for businesses that I'm in football and outside of football. I've done this for myself and for my own platform, for my own business and my own brand, and it works. And I have the knowledge and I have the skills and I have the tools, but I'm not a footballer myself. I cannot build somebody's brand from the outside. The person has to do the work by themselves. And I always encourage Nigerian players, reach out, even if you're not sure. All it takes is one initial conversation. If you are sold, you're sold. If you're not sold, you're not sold. You might start to see things come later, start to understand later. But again, if you've not had a conversation, if you've not had a think about these things, then you are clearly not doing something right. I will continue to preach this. I'll continue to preach athlete branding. But yeah, at the end of the day, I cannot beg. I cannot beg anybody. I cannot beg anybody. Someone say, are you sure that the guy is not living above his means? I don't know how much he makes. I don't know how much he buys those things. So I cannot speak on that. But I hope he's not. But I cannot speak on that. I'm not in his bank account. But yes, that's that on Gift Orban. Let's see if that move is finalized, and we'll wish him all the best if it does come through. And speaking of Turkey, saving our players, Milai. From the Turkish First Division, we take our trip to the Turkish Second Division. Super Eagles forward Kelechi Iheanacho has joined Bursaspor in the Turkish One League, which is the second division in Turkey, on a deal until 2029. He has signed a 3-year deal with the Turkish club, hoping to spearhead their fight, and their challenge to return to the Turkish top flight. Kelechi Iheanacho, of course, had a successful season with Celtic, in 2025-2026. We were all happy for him, scoring important goals off the bench, scoring some key penalties, and helping his club win the league, against the odds. In a sense, you could say that he rejected a contract extension from Celtic. Apparently, they were not offering him, a nice. I think they were offering him maybe 15K or thereabouts, and he wanted more than that. And Bursaspor came in with the offer. Do you think the decision to not stay with the Scottish champions at a lesser salary and go to a team in Turkish second tier is a good decision by Kelechi Iheanacho?
Yeah, for me, I think he knows exactly what he wants, and if they are pricing you that low, you know exactly what you want at this stage of your career. Though he's still not 30 yet, he's still very very young player. But I just think that he knows his priority. He knows exactly what he wants to do. Maybe at this point in his career, he wants to pursue money, and for him to go towards to second division. See, for me, I think for footballing, for football, they if it's a football matter, I don't think it's a good move. But for finances, it could be very very good. Maybe probably he's thinking about life, after football, what he wants to do. Maybe probably the money is not enough, and he wants to earn more money. So he thinks that
Mm.
okay, maybe probably it's better for him to go to Turkey than to go to Saudi Arabia. It's okay at this early stage. So it's fine for me. I just think that he's going to Division Two. He did in the days of his youth. I know that
He's not, stop saying youth now. He's not old, he's not in his 30s, but he's not a young player anymore.
he's not 30 yet.
Yeah, but he's not a
Not
young
30.
player. That's
Eh?
what I'm saying. He's not a young
Eh,
player.
it's a
He's
middle. It's a
29. 29 is you're getting to the older side in football.
yeah, but it's not old.
Not yet, not 30 yet.
He has not 30 yet.
He'll
So
be 30 in
okay.
October.
He's not young. He's not old. Okay, let me put it that way. It's not young. It's not old. So and if you look at Kelechi, I saw him selling clothes in Super Eagles camp before. Maybe probably he's already thinking about life after football. So maybe he wants to get more money to go and buy clothes and be selling. So he should continue to be doing what he likes. But what I want is this: if you are making this move and you're now going and pay some online tiger to be projecting you to Super Eagles, that they should call you again for Super Eagles, that is where the problem will be. Because if you
Mm,
are making moves like this, you should also be packing your bag in Super Eagles,
mm.
saying that okay, you know what? But the problem is this: these guys don't want to leave. How will you like an Ayatollah? You say that it's not youth again. You're defending him now. How will you defend if they're gonna invite him to the 99th
No,
minute?
I think he would also be aware of the fact that
But why
he's
can't he
on
come out
he's
and
on the
tell us that he's
outside
no
looking in.
longer
He has
he
not
should
retired
retire?
yet now. He has not, no, he's not retired yet. He might still, who knows, maybe next year he's playing in Germany or France. Who knows? So he's not retiring yet. But I think for now, he'll be well aware of the fact that he's on the outside looking in. He'll be aware that he's on the outside looking in, but he has not retired yet. I mean, there's still a chance of a revival. There's still a chance of revival. Look at Ivan Tony. Is he not still at the World Cup?
He went to go and do what he going to do at the World Cup. He's part of those that kid took what he's going to do at the World Cup.
He
He's
got
going
a
to
gold
go and
medal.
play charity game.
Eh,
Will they bring Avatoni when the need be? When you know that it's crucial? When he was under pressure, he brought him in against Argentina to go and do nothing. And he also played charity game in the third place.
hmm.
So it's part of the questions why they ask him that why did you bring out Anthony? That's what he has to face the England this can answer. So for me, I think these guys should also understand that sometimes if you know yourself that you cannot contribute to Super Eagles again, why
Hmm.
don't leave? I know that the official is not like this for Iheanacho now, but just leave the stage. to put it that way.
Okay, but let me ask you this question. At Celtic, he was impact. He was an impact sub. We'll put it that way. Coming off the bench, scoring some important goals for them on their title and cup charge at the end of the season. If he can go to Turkey and be a key player, is that a good decision? You know, rather than playing off the bench, maybe you play 12 games, you're coming off the bench in Scotland. You can go to Turkey and you can play 30 games from the start.
Anybody can be a key player in Division 2. This player that you.
But the goal is to promote now.
Eh?
The goal is to promote.
See, everybody can be a coup. There's one guy you used to. Is it? He went to Galatasaray.
He went to Galatasaray.
He won't play for Galatasaray before. He didn't have enough playing time there. You know him. You might post him. He had small stint in Galatasaray. He was on loan. He went on loan to. He left on loan. You might post him. I forgot his name. Is it Edison? Not Edison. He got this name like that. He went to Galatasaray of recent. It was in not when Victor was there. Before Victor was there. The Galatasaray player, the Nigerian Galatasaray that was before Victor was there. He only played cup games.
I can't think of who you're referring
to. No, it features prominently in your this thing. He used to play Galatasaray. I don't know why I cannot remember. I can see his name like this. I can just remember his name.
Oh, Jesse Sekidika.
Thank you. He was he turned to Ronaldo in Division 1. That is just he was playing. I watched him there. He turned to Ronaldo. I said, Nigeria don't stomp this, you know. He turned to Ronaldo there. What did he do? So anybody can perform well in Division 2. That Turkish League second division is not good. The guy was dribbling division in that Division 2. What did he do? So AyoT, you know, it should go and make money there.
Sekidika. Sekidika is now in South Korea. he won the double in Azerbaijan last season, and now he has gone to South Korea.
Yes. When you signed him, I was like, this guy will be future. He was so good in the Division 2.
People are saying Onyekuru, not Onyekuru. Onyekuru was a boss.
He did well in Galatasaray.
That's right. Not Onyekuru. He's talking about Jesse Sekidika. Because I was trying to think of who are the Nigerian players, and I was remembering Onyekuru.
Because I post him. He played opponently in your this thing.
Yeah, Sekidika. Yeah. Right. Okay. So obviously, Super Eagles.
Onyekuru. Up to now, I still say Onyekuru this moment.
Okay. Smith Layi, let's judge. At 30 years old, Iheanacho has had a lengthy career from under 17 to 30 years old. That's a 13-year gap. Let's just say 17 to 30. Within that 13 years, a lot of things have happened in his life. This guy has played Premier League, has played Champions League, Man City, Leicester City, EFL Championship. He has gone to Sevilla in Spain. He has gone to Scotland. Overall, has he had a career that is worthy of aspiration, worthy of emulation, and worthy of praise? What do you think?
No. And it's so sad to say that, because in 5 years' time now, maybe probably when he's done with his career, they will ask you that, what can you remember him for? It's like snake that just glide through on the rock without any impact. I'm sorry to say that, but what can you remember Kelechi for?
I can mention one.
What?
He has scored every day of the week in.
No. I'm talking about just in the national team.
In the national, but football doesn't revolve around the national team. I
know. For example, now,
but for national team, lest we forget, Kelechi was our number one striker before Odion Igalo. So he had his spell in the national team as well, where he was,
But for example, now, if you want to, they ask you that, what can you remember Igalo for? He was top scorer, AFCON, top scorer during the qualifiers, scored the goal that took Nigeria to the World Cup, against Cameroon. He was unplayable against Cameroon. You can mention those things a bit about Odenegalo.
Mm.
But the issue is that you have to scratch your head, to see exactly, where you can actually remember that Kelechi actually Kelechi, what he actually did for Nigeria.
Mm.
So it's very very tricky. It's very very tricky for us to actually what to do. Now I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Maybe you can answer me. How many AFCON goals did Kelechi score?
1. But he only played 6 matches in the AFCON.
Yeah, he scored 1 goal. He was not good enough to play the
1 goal and 1
AFCON.
assist.
Yes, he was not good enough to play the AFCON in 2019. Remember, he was dropped. I was upset to get a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wasn't doing well.
Mm.
He wasn't doing well. So if you want to, his career is similar to Chukwueze. You see Chukwueze will finish. You say, hey, he's not the guy from under 17. His career don't finish, because the boy to his how old is he? He's 27, 26. Chukwueze is also similar. That this guy will just finish national team. Will be wondering that, so he don't finish with that, because Chukwueze played for Nigeria about 11 years ago, under 17.
Mm.
So we just wonder that, so he don't finish. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy. How football can just pass you by.
Football
Is crazy.
Is a crazy game, and is a relatively short career. 13 years seems like a long time, but 13 years in the grand scheme of things is a very short life. If somebody is born and the person dies at 13 years old, you'll be crying that the person died young, way too young. So football is a very, very short career. But I mean, see, I have a different perspective. Look, did Kelechi Iheanacho hit the heights that Nigerians thought that he would? We're talking about the golden boy. On a 17 World Cup, the best young player at the time, special talent. That's why he was able to go to England and play. So obviously, when you're hyped to that level, we are expecting you to become a Julian Alvarez. We're expecting you to become an Erling Haaland. We're expecting you to become a top striker in the world. If you were the top at that age group at the time, then why is it that when your age group became older, you couldn't keep up? We should be talking about Kelechi Iheanacho in that regard today. So did he hit those heights? No, he did not. But I think that he still had a good enough career. Playing more, I don't know exactly how many years he played in the English Premier League, but he played a while in the English Premier League for Man City and for Leicester City. He was pivotal for Leicester City in 2021 when they won the English FA Cup, scoring important goals for them. Went to the EFL Championship, won the league in the championship as well. I think he has had a career that is worthy of praise in general. Now, for somebody like him that had massive potential, you might say he underachieved. And that would be fair criticism to say he didn't get to where he could have got to. But from just an outside perspective, many Nigerian players, if you offer them the chance to play 6 years in the Premier League, win the FA Cup, play for Man City, they'll play for Super Eagles 50-something times. They would jump at it. So again, success is relative. From where he started from in Owerri to where he is today, he's been successful. Obviously, again, I will say this: he did not reach the potential that a lot of people saw that they thought he had. But he has had a good time. And injuries played a part. All sorts of things. Indiscipline to an extent. I remember the time when we first started this podcast. We'll come every new season and we'll talk about how Kelechi Iheanacho is not fit, at the start of preseason. So a lot of indiscipline was also part of it, not keeping your body right, not investing in yourself, not dedicating, to being at your top level, which is a bit disappointing because when you have something within your control and you just don't take control of it, it is disappointing. But I look at Kelechi Iheanacho and I say, well, it is what it is. It's too late for us to start trying to rectify mistakes that have been made in the past. I just hope that he does well in Turkey, because obviously if you go to the second division in Turkey and you still cannot do well, with all due respect to him, players like Emeka Eze have gone and they've lit up the second division in Turkey. Emeka Eze has not once been tipped to be in the Super Eagles. So obviously the standard there, if you are not able to even go and be the best player in the Turkish second division, should we even be talking about you on the podcast? It's like that's the level that is like, should we even be talking about you on the podcast? Should people
Are you gonna be tracking him?
be thinking? I'll be tracking him. I'll be tracking him. I mean, I've been tracking Turkish second division because there are a number of Nigerian players there. So I will be tracking him. If he scores, if he does well, you will be seeing the post about it on EaglesTracker. But am I going to be excitedly watching his matches? No, I wouldn't. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not really somebody that watches the second division of Turkey. I'll probably watch the highlights.
And let me just say something about him.
Okay.
Fine. See, if I see that I should put a many case 3 years in Super Eagles to Kelechi Iheanacho's 10 years side by side in Super Eagles, I will pick the 3 years of Menike.
Sometimes it's not how long, it's how well.
It's how well, yes, thank you.
Comment here from Viral Momentum. It says Iheanacho's best and worst moment and most memorable moments or performance was in the 2021 AFCON. Did he make it in 2019? Smith Layi already kind of talked about that. It was dropped in 2019. But yes, 2022 AFCON was where he scored that one goal, got the one assist. Scored against, I think it was Egypt in the first game of the group stage. So yes. It says football is in phases. You snooze and you lose. Someone playing in Premier League might be in Turkish Division 2 tomorrow. Such is life. Such is life. Oh, such is life. Look at this. And it's not only Nigerian players that life happens to. Look at Matty Longstaff. You know that Matty Longstaff, him and his brother. Matty Longstaff now is playing for CF Montreal here in Canada in the MLS.
Newcastle's Longstaff.
Yeah, Newcastle Longstaff. Now he's playing in the MLS for Montreal. So, and he's only 26 years old. So it can happen to anybody. 2019-20 season, he was playing for Newcastle in the Premier League. Now he's in Canada. So it can happen. From Newcastle, he went to League 2, to Scotland, then to League 2 before he came to Canada. So football can happen to anybody. It's not only Nigerian players that it happens to, but obviously we track Nigerian players, so that's who I'm more concerned about. Well, Kelechi Iheanacho contract until 2029, so we'll see how that one plays out. Okay, another transfer news to talk about. This one surprised me slightly, but Super Falcons forward Joy Omewa, she has moved already. She has joined BK Häcken in the Swedish women's division. She's joined them on a deal until 2029. So she signed a 3-year deal. Of course, she joined Nottingham Forest after scoring a bunch of goals in Fortuna Hearing. She joined Forest and she had a handful of performances there. I think she scored 3 or 4 goals. Not the biggest light up season, but still a decent season. She's a proven goal scorer. In 24-25 season, she scored 22 goals in 24 matches. So she knows how to score goals. And yeah, now she's taking her talents to Sweden. BK Häcken is one of the top teams in Sweden. I will say that they just won the inaugural UEFA Women's Europa Cup, so they are a quality team that competes. Swedish league in women's football, I'll have to check the rankings to see where the Swedish league is ranked. But I believe that it's a highly ranked league. But what do you think about that one? Moving to Sweden, this is a team that we've seen a player like Halima Twahinde play in the past. What do you think? Do you think it's a good move for her? Can she do well in Sweden?
Yeah, I think so. It's not a bad team, and for Nottingham Forest is not in the first in WSL. So I'm just thinking that it's going to be playing European football, and Sweden's league is very competitive. It's not like the men's Swedish league. So for me, I think you should go there and learn more. The Akin team is very, very good. I've watched them before in the past, and I think that she can actually do well. Though there's still a lot of things to improve in her game, I think that she can learn more in that. I think there's going to be less pressure there, less media hype and things like that. So if she can do well there, it's going to be better.
Yeah. They won their league last season. Swedish league is the Damallsvenskan, is the 7th highest ranked women's league in Europe. That's behind England, Spain, France, Germany, Italy, Portugal. So behind the usual suspects, the 7th strongest league. So it's a pretty good league for a player to be playing in. And like you mentioned, Nottingham Forest are not in the WSL. So anyways, she wasn't playing at the top division of women's football in England. I just did not necessarily think that she would make a move so soon. But at the end of the day, I'm quite happy for her. I think it's an opportunity for her to go and impress. It's an opportunity for her to win titles. It's an opportunity for her to play in the UEFA Women's Champions League, which is obviously a big stage that everybody wants to play at. And yeah, I just hope that she can continue to develop, she can continue to grow, and nobody will be able to doubt that she deserves her spot in the Super Falcons when she does get the call-ups. So yes, that one was a very interesting move. I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. Joy Omewa. I'll still be tracking her. I already tracked the Swedish women's division, the first division. So that is not any added work for me or for my team. But yes, we're wishing her all the very, very best with that one. Okay, we'll keep the ball rolling. We have a few more topics that we need to talk about. We're about to transition into the national team football a little bit. But before we do that, I want to just take a quick pause and remind you guys to hit the like button. We have well over 150 people that are watching us live right now, but we have only 67 likes. So guys, if you have not already, please do me a favor and hit the like button on this video. It costs you absolutely nothing. It takes less than a minute of your time, and it goes a very, very long way in sending positive signals about our stream, about our content, about our channel. So please do that. Let's take a quick minute to hit the like button, guys. Please. Let's get 100 likes before we keep this show going. Let us get to 100 likes. Guys, please hit the like button. Only 68 likes right now. Let us get to 100 likes. I don't know why many of you guys don't like hitting the button, man. But please, let's get 100 likes before we continue. Let us get 100 likes. And of course, guys, please feel free to support the channel. Send a super chat, send a super sticker, send jewels, send gifts. Please support the channel. It helps us to grow. It helps us to continue to pay our staff to run the channel, to keep doing what we're doing. So yes, please support however you can. Every little is appreciated. Okay, guys, we're on 72 likes. Come on, guys, let's keep it going. 28 to go. We need to get to 100. There's way more than 150 people that are watching. Like more than 150 people are watching right now. So to ask for 100 likes still means that 50 something people will not like the video. Why do you want to be amongst those 50 something that wouldn't like it? Why? What are you going to gain? I know that some people that watch this stream, some people that watch our show, they are resident haters. They just watch so that they can be upset, so that they can, if we say anything controversial, they can go and create stories with people or create fights somewhere. But I know that most of you that are watching are genuine lovers of Nigerian football, enjoy our opinions, enjoy the content, like to engage with us. So please hit the like button. It costs you absolutely nothing. Hit the like button. We're up to 77. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's keep it going. We'll be here. Let's keep it going. It's not easy. 1.5 hours now of talking. You guys know that it's not easy to just come and be talking. If I was on TV, by now my show would have been over. We would have gone off air. Sometimes TV work is even easier than this work that we do. To be creating content, to be coming to talk. The amount of research that we do before we come on this show, so that we can give you a high level quality information, and we'll still crack jokes on top. You guys will still be happy. You'll still be enjoying it. We'll still answer your questions. If you are watching show on TV, can you ask questions? We'll still answer your questions. All that we ask is for you to like. TV, you have to pay money for subscription. And all that we're asking is for you to hit the like button. That's all we're asking. Hit the like button. If you have the means, you can support super chat, super stickers, jewels, gifts, everything. We appreciate them. But if you don't, that's all good. Just hit the like button. We're up to 83 likes, so we have 17 to go. Come on, guys, let's go. Yet for us to talk about, we're going to talk about the Flying Eagles. We're going to talk about the WAFCON. We're going to talk about EaglesTracker Awards. So yes, we're almost there. I've started working on WAFCON content as well, so expect some quality breakdown videos, previews. Everything is coming on the channel very, very soon. World Cup is over. Our awards are going on now. The awards will end on the 22nd, which is in 2 days' time. And then after the awards end, boom, WAFCON mode. So yes, watch out for that one. That one is coming very, very, very soon. We're almost there, guys. 86 likes. Come on, guys. Keep it going. If you haven't liked the video, people are, in fact, I'm loving this because more people are joining the stream. More people are joining the stream. See, this is why I ask you guys to like, because the more you like, the more you send the signal to YouTube that the stream is good, that the content is good, and the more they show it to others. As you guys are liking, more people are joining the stream, and it helps the channel grow. It helps us. Come on, guys. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's like the video. Let's like the video. We're up to 87, 88 now. 88 now. Only 12 to go before we continue this. This is our, if you're watching TV, they can go on like 5 minute ad break. This is our 5 minute ad break where I just ask you guys to hit the like button. This is where I just ask you to hit the like button. That's my own ad break. We're on 89 likes. 89 likes. We're almost there. We're almost there. Come on, guys. Keep supporting. Keep supporting. Keep supporting. 91, 91, 9 to go. Come on, guys. I know some of you guys want me to beg you. Want me to beg. So I say IoT is on YouTube begging for likes. No problem. I'm humble. I know what this does for us. I know how it helps us grow. I know how it helps to push the EaglesTracker brand and push what we're doing. So I have no problem asking you. Please just hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. We have 91 likes right now. We only need 9 more to keep things moving. We are well over 150 that are watching this stream. So, by now I should be saying we should have 150 likes. But now 100 are they ask for. Well, 94. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Ad break is almost over. 6 more likes. The only thing that I wish YouTube would allow me to know who has not liked it. I wish there was a list. They'll put a list. Viewers, their handles, liked, not liked, so that I can call you by name. And some of you, maybe you are here every week, but you don't be liking, so that I will know the people that are my ops, but are pretending to be my guys. So that I will know. I wish YouTube could put list for me. Liked, did not like. We're up to 97. We're almost there. Ad break is almost over. We're up to 97 likes. Only 3 more. Who will be the final 3? If you are the 100th like, comment and I might give you a gift. If you are the 100th person to like, I did not say you should unlike so that you'll not be 100. Yeah, there's no gift. Before people will start unliking and say I want to be number 100, just like the video. There's no gift for the 100th person. But yes, we're on 98. 2 more likes, guys. Whether you're on your phone, whether you're on your laptop, your TV, it takes less than a minute. The time that we've used to do this ad break now would have been just in the gist. We need just 2 more. 198. We need just 2 more. 2 more people. Over 160 viewers live at the moment. And we need just 2 more people to like. That's all we're asking for. Over 160. We need just 2 more people to hit the like button. 1 more person. We need 1 more person. 1 more person. 1 more person. 1 more person. Come on, guys. 1 more person. 1 more person. Let's get it. Thank you for your support, guys. Thank you for your support. Yes, we have crossed the 100 likes mark. See, that was very, very easy, but you guys made me beg for it. But that was very, very easy. Guys, please, any of our contents, man, like, it goes a long way. It helps us to reach more people. It helps the channel to grow. It's like the one thing that you can do to support us. Just hit the like button. And I know we're at the 100 mark now, but it doesn't mean that the rest of you cannot still or should not still like the video. Unless you genuinely don't enjoy the content. But then I wonder why you are still watching if you're not enjoying the content. But if you are still watching, it means that you're enjoying it. So please do us that favor, hit the like button. Okay, let us get back into the conversation for this evening. Let's get back into the conversation. All right. So let us transition now to a little bit of national team football. The Flying Eagles of Nigeria, the Flying Eagles, they have made their trip and they have arrived in Abidjan for the WAFCON Under 20 Championship. Of course, defending champions, Nigeria. They are going to face Ghana, Togo, and Burkina Faso. And this tournament will also serve as the qualifying competition for the 2027 Africa Under 20 Cup of Nations. What can you tell us about this squad? What can you tell us about our chances in this WAFCON Under 20 Championship?
So, the team arrived in Abidjan without the list of players. They are just there. We don't know who will represent Nigeria in Abidjan. The team arrived in Abidjan without playing any notable friendly game. They only played academy sides in Nigeria. The
Mm.
team arrived unprepared. In fact, this is the most unprepared, flying eagles I've seen in years. So I don't know the reason why. I told you about being intentional about what we do. I don't know what we want to gain from this. Why is the NFF hiding the list of under 17, under 20 players?
Because
Why?
people like you will scrutinize the list.
No, we scrutinize it because I know there's a boy on the list that finished university in 6 years ago. So let them give us the list. Let us
He
see the
finished
players.
university 6 years ago.
Yes, according to reports. So we want to know maybe it's the 18.
Hmm.
What I'm just trying to say basically is that I don't think it's a good thing for some teams to be going representing Nigeria. We don't know them.
Hmm.
The competition is going to be in 6 days' time, even probably in 5 years' time now. So, we need to get familiar. Some of us want to analyze them. Let us know them. Let us know the clubs they played before in the past.
Hmm.
Let us look at them. Let us analyze them. Let us look at, for example, now, if you ask me that, which player should I watch out for? I don't know. I
Because
don't
you
know the
don't
list of
in
players.
the team. Hmm.
Yes, I should be able to give you the news, of players going to there. So there's no list. I don't know the reason why they're doing like this. We don't even know the captain of our under 20. We don't know. This is a completely new. It is the first time this will be happening. At least we know that Daniel Bam Bam Bamaye was the captain of the last under 20. We can
Hmm.
recognize him from that. Daniel Daga, we can recognize. But this one, we don't know anybody there. So it's just like bunch of strangers trying to represent the country. So, completely, there's no news and no friendly game. Togo, Benin Republic, they're playing friendly game. Burkina Faso playing friendly game. Niger Republic playing friendly game. Nigeria did not play any friendly game. So, and if you say you want to win the World Cup in 2030, it starts from this under 20. And they're holding this list as if it's a commissioner's list or minister's list.
Hmm.
It's not your right, AyoT, as a Nigerian. I don't know if you are still a Nigerian. As a Nigerian
I'm
to
still in Nigeria.
to say you want to know those that will representing you.
Hmm.
It's not bad. It's not too bad to ask. So for me, I just think that it's another show of shit from the NFF. They will never learn from anything. And I think, you know, I don't rate these people at all.
Hmm.
Though Nigeria will playing, in a group of death, playing against Burkina Faso, against Ghana, and against Togo. So Ghana will be the host of the next under 20 AFCON. So Ghana will qualify automatically for that AFCON. So
Yeah.
we need two more representatives from West African B. So if Ghana should play in the final of this under 20 WAFU B, the third place team will qualify.
Hmm.
But if Ghana did not qualify for the final, the two finalists will qualify alongside Ghana.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the last final was Nigeria versus Ghana, where we beat Ghana.
Yes, the was Ghana, yes.
Mm.
The
So
was Ghana.
even though we're not quite sure who is going to represent us, can we feel good about our chances?
How can we feel good, IoT? How can we feel good? We don't, okay, you didn't see teams playing friendly game. You did not know the players that are invited to actually want to play for the team. You don't, you don't know the job that the coach took last in the Nigerian league. He failed. I remember that he wrote one horrible letter of I don't know, maybe I've seen it online of resignation that some people are threatening him on social media. That's why he's resigning from his job.
Hmm.
As a wikitory coach. I'm talking about Makaiba.
Yeah.
So everything around the team is just vulnerable. I hope they go and do well, but I'm saying it now to those in charge. We need to see the list of players that represent Nigeria.
Hmm. Hmm. So, is there anything else to say about this WAFU tournament? We don't
No,
know the
we just
players.
hope. No, I'm just saying that if we want to do well, talking about the age grade, we need to also be so transparent, with what is going on in this under 20. Because I'm hearing that they are not getting recommendations from Eric. I don't know. They are just doing what they like. They should continue. But it's just that I don't have anything to say apart from like to come and complain that this team are traveling out of the country. We don't know those are coming to represent us. And even look at Golden India too. They went to South Korea. We didn't even know. Some those guys went to China. We didn't know the list of players traveling. It was transfer market that we went to go and check their names. Transfer market. So NFF did not publish them. Even if they are going for, I saw the list of scouted under 15 players in Ghana, national, published on the Ghana FA website and Ghana FA Instagram. Why can't we do our things like that? It's just a shame.
What if they publish tomorrow or the day after?
Well, when they have run away already, okay, it's good. They should publish it. Let us see. Then when we see, we discuss them.
Okay, when we see, we discuss them. I believe that our first match is on the 26th of July, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, against Ghana.
Yes, and then let's see how that one goes. We wish them all the best. But I share your sentiments. We definitely, before a squad travels, we should know who is going to be traveling. Even at club level, if a team is going to play an international game, they will post this is our traveling squad for the game before they get on the plane and actually travel. Allow the media to give their opinion. People always have negative opinions, but that's part of when you're in the public eye. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that we can't even identify the players that are going to be traveling. We cannot analyze them. Like you said, you cannot tell us, oh, this is the player to watch out for. This is a high prospect player. This is a player that you think should have been there. We cannot say any of that because they kept the list of players a mystery. But we await their performance. They know that they have to qualify for the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. So we'll be looking forward to them putting in a big one and hopefully defending their Under-20 WAFCON championship title. But yes, very, very, very short and sweet on the Under-20 because they didn't give us anything else to really talk about. Okay, let's get into the big one that is coming up, Smith Layi. We're into WAFCON mode right now. WAFCON is coming up. WAFCON 2026. The Super Falcons are going to try to retain their title, the 14th Women Africa Cup of Nations. And as of now, I believe that, at least as of yesterday, there were 6 players that were still yet to arrive in camp. Most of these players are players that are in North America. We had yet to arrive Michelle Lozier, Deborah Abiodun, Gift Monday, Esther Okonkwo, Flasha Lucy, and Uchenna Kanu. We were, of course, initially billed to have a friendly game versus the Black Queens of Ghana in Casablanca, but the game was cancelled due to quote-unquote unforeseen circumstances. However, most people are led to understand that the game was cancelled simply because at the time, we only had 15 players in camp, and we didn't have a full squad to be able to play a friendly match. Now, I think I was hearing that they're potentially trying to schedule another friendly against, was it Tanzania that they were talking about scheduling another friendly against? But we talk about going into tournaments and, even on today's show, we've spoken about how important it is to have the right preparation. We've spoken about that. So what can you say about this? Like, why are we still unprepared?
Because they don't take women football serious. That's it. They don't take anything serious. Didn't they know that they don't have the full complement of players before they tell you that Ghana game? Now, they are now making us know that Nigeria will play against Tanzania. It's a lie. Ghana is the one playing against Tanzania. So, I don't know. It's just so unserious. So, you don't have 15 players in camp. I don't know. Probably there's 4 expected. But, maybe Ghana was scared to play Super Eagles.
Okay, that's the story. Esther Okonkwo and Uchenna Kanu are now in camp. So, it's 4 left. Yes, you're right.
Okay, it's 4 left now. So, yeah. So, I just think that it's part of not taking things seriously. Okay, you know what? We didn't prepare these girls last time around. They won the WAFCON trophy. What's the point preparing them again? Let them go there and just win. They don't care. They don't care. So that's the reason why I just hope that this NFF can just change. They don't care. Up to this moment, I don't want to be a prophet of doom. This WAFCON might be similar to the one we went to go and play in Equatorial Guinea in 2012 or so. Maybe it was 2012 or 2002 of it. Which one that was so difficult that we came fourth. We even came fourth in Morocco about the 2 years ago.
Yeah, I understand. But 2012 when Equatorial Guinea won.
Yeah, Equatorial Guinea won. Yes. So for me, I think that we need to be more serious with these things. I don't know. who is failing. Maybe it's the players not arriving on camp because people criticize Michel Alozie for going
To
for
watch the
attending
World
the
Cup.
World Cup final,
Mm.
and not arriving in camp. And I think she posted one video just before that the dad was saying that won't you go to camp? Won't you miss your flight? I don't know. There was one video that she posted that she was playing in front of their garden. That the dad said that are you not going to camp? You want to miss your flight and things like that. So I thought maybe probably she was on her way to camp there. You know
Mm.
that she went to the World Cup final. So it's like that. I don't know. Maybe there's an agreement between her and the what's it called at the NFF that she's going to arrive at a particular time. I don't know. Maybe it's the club.
8 hours ago, she posted herself on a plane on Emma Rock, so she's on her way.
She's on her way. So for me, I don't know. No, I don't. The team is not new to themselves.
Mm.
It's okay. They were because of them won the WAFCON last time around. Except maybe probably Ashitona and former Numonu. Not actually what around. But
Mm.
I just think that they need to be able to motivate themselves. See, IoT, it's very difficult to motivate a team and so successful. Cadillacs Barcelona team there, it was so hard for him to motivate them because they won everything. So this team too, they won like this WAFCON for the 10th time. So it's now for the coach to motivate them and say, okay, guys, we need to get our 11th World crown. So, for me, I just like preparation is eventually. And lastly, the title. Are they going to draw 11 stars on our crest? Or are we?
No, now they can't draw 11 stars. Maybe what we can do is we'll use one star will represent 5 titles.
Okay,
So maybe they will do like double star. So you do one
okay,
star, then you do another star above it. So you have two of the double stars,
okay.
which will mean 10. Then when you reach
Mm-hmm,
15, you add another one. You cannot draw 10. 10 stars will go around the whole crest now.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But
That's even intimidating, to draw 10. That is too scary. It's too scary. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, why I can see a comment here from Conversations. Thank you for joining me. He's saying that by Wednesday we are expecting the full squad by Wednesday, which is what, the 22nd. So full squad on Wednesday, and then our first game is on the 28th against Malawi. So that would give us what, 6 days of training with everybody in preparation for the tournament. I know that for the ones that are in North America, it was because they were not released early enough. Their clubs had matches. Again, which goes back to the scheduling issue that CAF had. They had to move the WAFCON because of Morocco, blah blah blah. And moving the WAFCON meant that it was going to clash with the NSL, NWSL season. So for some of the clubs, they wanted to wait till the very very last moment to release the players for the camp, which you can say it's a bit tough on Nigeria, but you can say you understand from the club's point of view. I mean, these players are going to be missing games. Their club season is still going to be ongoing, which obviously happens with the men's AFCON as well. But yeah, it's the same thing that we had with the men, where the clubs were holding the players until the very last day that they could release them. So we're having similar there. But I know Michelle Alozie posted herself on the plane on Air Maroc Airlines, so she should be there by tomorrow. Tuesday she should be in camp, and then maybe the other 3 players by Wednesday, like Colin is saying, they would be in camp as well. So yes, thank you for that information. What's me like looking at the WAFCON? Let's get a little bit deeper into this WAFCON. Nigeria, of course, dominant, 10 titles. We won the last one in Morocco. We're playing again in Morocco. How much pressure do you think this team is under to defend their title?
I think because it's a World Cup qualification, I think the
Hmm.
pressure is slightly what there's more pressure. There's less pressure when you're just playing to win the title. But now, I think it's now a 16 team tournament, so um, majority is the first time that it's going to be 16 teams. So there's not going to be third best place teams again. It's going to be the 16 teams will go to the quarterfinals. The top two teams go to quarterfinals. Then the two semifinals. So for me, I think there's a lot of pressure to actually what go and retain. Everybody wants to beat Nigeria. So that is it TikTok live. It's TikTok live. Yeah, I do. It's Shawinga and Oshuala saying don't beat us 5-0. I don't know if you saw that video.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you saw that video. So it's just like a lot of people actually would expect us to do well. So the pressure is going to be on the ladies to see exactly how you can actually what retain it. Because Morocco we want to win for the first time. They lost their first final against South Africa and also the second final against Nigeria. So I think that it's going to be a lot of pressure, but more pressure because the World Cup qualification, WAFCON,
Mm. Mm.
because at least they have to deliver the tickets.
Are you confident in them being able to deliver that World Cup
No,
qualification?
no, no. There's if they don't qualify direct to the World Cup, there's a
There's
playoff.
the continental playoffs. Well, there's the
Yes. So
African playoffs that you first
there's
play
the African
before the
playoff, the
continental one.
Canada playoff. So
Mm.
because if they can qualify out of the group, they will play at least they will play the African playoff.
Mm.
So when others are playing semi-final, they will be playing
Mm. But it's been
playoffs.
like this is how we thought the Super Eagles too that there was playoffs. So and
But
then we
I will
went.
not lie to you if these Falcons cannot qualify from that group, no, if they qualify from that group and they cannot go to the semi-final, you sack Justin Madugu.
Justin Madigo.
In
Mm.
fact, in fact, he will not qualify for the Olympics. Even if he wins this WAFCON, I don't think Madugu will qualify for the Olympics.
Because Olympics is usually tough here because of
It's very, very tough. I don't think he'll qualify. Mark my word. I'm not a prophet of doom. I don't think he'll qualify for the Olympics. So
Mm.
for me, I think the targets should be, at least already the semi-finals. Then from there, anything actually what happens.
Mm. I mean, I will say, look, I have so much respect, as you guys know, so much love, so much care, so much passion for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. With good reason. They are the most successful team in Africa. They've been there, done that. They've made us happy on so many occasions. So I have full credits for them, and I have full expectation for them to go there, win the group, and qualify for the World Cup. It is absolutely important that we qualify for the World Cup. Now, as far as retaining the title, you go to the tournament, you always want to win. You always expect to win. You're the Super Falcons of Nigeria, so yes, you always have the expectation to win. But I think I'm not too pressed on we must win the WAFCON because we won it last year, and there's a much bigger prize that's here to be won again. Look, local champion doesn't do anything for you. We won the AFCON multiple times. On the world stage, we've not been able to leave an impact. We've not been able to make a mark. And for me, that is where we really need to test ourselves now. Do I want to win the WAFCON again and continue to say that we're the African champions? Yes. But ultimately, even if we don't win the WAFCON, if we qualify for the World Cup and we can go to the World Cup and we can challenge, we can have a better showing than we did in 2023, where we know that we took England to the limit, before unfortunately losing to them, then I'll be very, very, very happy. I know that the players are potentially going into this WAFCON like they always do, going there to potentially win, in spite of the NFF, in spite of all the lack of preparation, in spite of the bad camps, in spite of their monies that are being owed, in spite of not having played any friendlies, they are going there to challenge and are going to give their all. So I have 100% faith in the players. Whichever combination of players is on the field, however the coach decides to set them up, they will take charge and they will do what needs to be done. I have no qualms about that. But I think the most important thing is finish in the top four, qualify automatically directly for the 2027 Women's World Cup. And then anything that comes after that in the semis and the final, we'll take the results. But we know Morocco, South Africa, and maybe even the likes of Malawi, Zambia, who have not quite been able to get there, would be hoping that they can challenge. So, in your opinion, who would you say is the biggest threat to Nigeria's title at this WAFCON?
I think it's Morocco. I think it's Morocco. Sometimes say that you fail first, second time, the third one is like the third time lucky.
Hmm.
Morocco is the greatest challenge. They failed against South Africa. They lost against Nigeria in a dramatic circumstances. If you still remember that final, I think it's Morocco. It's Morocco. They have been in camp for a long time now. The coach is very experienced. He won the World Cup with Spain, and they still retain him. So it's not just about you know qualifying for the World Cup for them. They want to be African champion for both men and women at the same time. I think they will go be the first. They will be the only. They will be the. I think after Nigeria, they will be the team that retain the title. Both men and women champion. At the same time.
Hmm.
So if they can actually win, this one, I think it's Morocco. But in our group, I think Zambia will be very difficult to beat.
I can see Victor Cobham says SA will be our biggest threat, followed by Morocco. And Adiola is saying Ghana. She thinks Ghana. Do you think Ghana can pose a threat to us like that?
Yeah, if we top our group and Ghana finish second, I think
Mm.
they can stop us from qualifying for the semi-finals. If we're
Hmm.
not careful.
Okay, let's quickly talk about that. So the groups, there are four groups, of course. Nigeria is in Group C with Zambia, Egypt, and Malawi. And then in Group D, we have Ghana, Cameroon, Mali, and Cape Verde. Cape Verde potentially looking to make a mark. The winner of Group C will face the second team in Group D. The winner of Group D will face the second team in Group C. So in our group, Zambia is probably on paper one of the teams, but we know that we give them Woto last time. But Zambia is one of the teams that, of course, we'll be watching out for. And then Malawi potentially trying to be a little bit of a dark horse. Do you see the Super Falcons, rather? Do you see the Super Falcons winning Group C with ease?
I don't think it's going to be with ease. I think the game against Malawi, against Zambia, against Zambia will be tricky. I think that's the first game.
No, the first
So I
game is
think
Malawi.
okay, first game is against Malawi. Okay, maybe probably starting well against Malawi might be very very good. But I know that this team are like they have Vivut on top, Passat for back. This team are not really actually what balance. They have good striker, but they don't actually what have good defense. But I'm
Hmm.
hearing that Malawi has been camping for a very long time, trying to train their players to see exactly, if you are in camp for a long time, chemistry is going to be there. So I think we can win the group. If we can win our first game, we win the group.
If we can win our first game, we'll win the group. Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, let's do our quick prediction. But before I do that, let me just give my opinion. I think that we have a very strong chance of winning the group as well. I don't think that it will be so easy. I'm not necessarily expecting us to go and give Zambia 4-0 again in this one. But the opening game will be against Malawi. I think, first game of the tournament for us, things could be slightly nervy, could be relatively slow starts to the game. But I do think that as time goes on, Nigeria will take control. And we should be able to win that game maybe by 2-0 or 2-1 in the opening game. Then we'll face Zambia in our second game. Depending on Zambia's result against Egypt in their own first game, it can switch or can change the kind of feeling, the kind of momentum that both teams are coming into the game with. But Zambia would always want to be up for a test against Nigeria because they know that the Super Falcons are the team to beat. And of course, they remember that we dealt with them at the last WAFCON. So I'm going to say that the Super Falcons overall will finish this group with 6 or 7 points. Maybe 9. They have a chance of 9 points as well, but I would say maybe 7 points. We draw one and win two. I think that's fairly comfortable. I still think that we would win our group though, and then we'll go to Group D. For the purpose of the knockout round, let's look at Group D. So Group D has Ghana, Cameroon, Mali, and Cape Verde. People think that Cameroon have a very good squad. People think that Cameroon pose a threat, and some people are tipping Ghana as well. So it's me like Ghana, Cameroon, do you see them as 1-2 in Group D, or can Mali or Cape
I
Verde
think Ghana will top the group in. I don't see
in
the
Group D?
Cameroon team as really a threat. I think Ghana
Mm,
will top the group in top that group, and Cameroon will be probably second. I think they also
mm.
have Mali there, is it?
Yeah, Mali and Cape Verde as well.
And Cape Verde. So I think Cameroon, ah, Cameroon might even finish third though. But I think
Oh,
Ghana will top the group.
You think Mali will finish second?
Yeah, I think Mali can beat them.
Mm,
Because the Cameroon team currently is not the one we used to know, in the past.
mm.
It's majorly home-based players. I don't think they can do well that much.
So you think
Let
in
them,
the quarterfinal, you think we'll be facing Mali? That's what you're saying essentially.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think either Mali or Cameroon, but maybe probably tournament experience Cameroon, but I think Mali can take them out. I think Mali.
Mm. And based on just kind of projecting the league table, so the first of Group B will face the second of Group A. Group B, we would think that South Africa would win Group B. Of course, South Africa, they are going up against Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and Tanzania. You would want to think that South Africa would be able to win that group. So if South
Mhm.
Africa win Group B, they will face the second of Group A, which maybe is going to be Senegal. That group is Morocco, Algeria, Senegal, and Kenya. Then South Africa will face Senegal potentially in the quarterfinal. And then the winner of that quarterfinal will face the winner of our quarterfinal in the semifinal. So if we do win
If
the
we top
group,
the group,
yes, if we do win the group and we happen to beat maybe Cameroon, Mali, whoever in the quarterfinal would now face South Africa in a semi-final rematch. Last WAFCON, it took a lucky goal, let's be honest, by Michel Alozie for us to win that semi-final. If we come across South Africa in this WAFCON again, do you think that we can have the better of South Africa again?
I think we can still beat them. I think we can still beat them. So that's one thing about this WAFCON. There's no way you will not face any of those big teams in the semi-finals. You just mentioned that even if we finish second, I think we'll face Morocco. Is it
Yes.
the semi-final? So anyhow you finish, you cannot dodge all
We
these
cannot
big
dodge, yeah.
you cannot dodge them. So is either here or there. So for me, I still think that we can beat Africa, but the coach is very, very good. Coach Desire, is it Desire? Very,
There's
very good.
I was about to say
Yeah,
there's a realist.
Desire, yeah. He's a very, very good coach. I know I watched our second game against Japan. They won 1-0. Very organized team. So and I think against Justin Madugu, I think if we are not just up to standard that day, we might probably win. But you have to trust the players, IoT.
That's just prayers. Okay.
Yeah.
Comment here from conversation says, I was talking to Temo Adash Chawinga the other day, and she said Malawi aren't coming to admire Morocco. Their target is the title. It says, I like the confidence. I mean, like, do you like the Malawian players saying that they are coming for the title, not just to admire? Do you think that they have a chance?
Time will tell, IoT. Time will tell, IoT. Everybody wants to come and win. Time will tell. That team looks like V-Boots, limousine up front, Passat the back. So it's just for you to try and like keep,
the Chawinga sisters, we know they are the stars.
Yeah, they are the stars. Yeah.
Yes, the rest of the team is
it's just
not...
like Zambia. They're like Zambia Pro Max.
Mm.
You can see that Zambia can hold through the wings. They have, I think they still have Chanda. They have Chanda. They can hold through the wings. They have Banda up front. They can out you. But when you go to their left back, you will know that, the defense line is not really good. And even the goalkeeper. So for me, I think Malawi is like the Zambia Pro Max. Oh, no. Zambia is Malawi Pro Max. Let me just put it that way.
Okay, Zambia is Malawi Pro Max. So you think Malawi is the Android?
It's not well. So they don't have the defense line of South Africa.
But I mean, as far as the confidence, that's what they are supposed to say. They cannot say that they are coming to fight hard. And look, maybe this World Cup, maybe Cape Verde at the World Cup has given everybody confidence that you can be the underdog and you can still get quality results. So they have to, I like it. Everybody has to come and expect to or believe that they can win. If you are coming with a mentality of they are going to beat us, then you are already beat before you even get on the field. So I like the mentality. Look, for me, I don't want it to be easy. In anything that I do, honestly, like I always like a challenge. Sometimes it can sound crazy because they are obviously like in life, if somebody can dash me $1 million right now, I'll take it. Why should I have to work for $1 million? But at the end of the day, like I do enjoy a challenge. If I'm going to win a title, the way we won the title last time, it made it sweet because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. We ran through the group and all of a sudden we get South Africa in the semifinals and it looks like it can go either way. Alozie scores the goal from out of nowhere. We get to the final, we're losing 2-0, half time, second half comes, we do like Argentina. We score 3 goals. Echegini scores the winner. We lift the trophy. It made it sweet. You want a challenge. If you just go and beat everybody 3-0, 3-0, 2, it's like, okay, bro, like, what was this, man? We're just training essentially. So for me, I do like a challenge and I like the mentality. I think all players, all teams need to come believing that they can get a result, believing that they can win the title. In all honesty, I don't think Malawi can win the title, but I'm not from Malawi, so why should I be having so much faith in them? It's now for them to see this video, to say who is this Nigerian guy, why is he so arrogant, and then their players will come and prove me wrong. That's what I like to see. Like, that's really what it is. But yes, I'll still do a video on my whole WAFCON 2026 preview and everything that will be on the channel in a couple of days. So guys, make sure that you subscribe and you turn on notification so that you can get when that video comes out. And as always, before every match at the Super Falcons play, you can expect me to do my match preview video as well on each individual match, and then we would have post-match reviews throughout the tournament. I don't want to promise that there will be a live stream after every game right now, because the way my next 2 weeks is kind of set up, it's a little bit tricky My mother is coming to visit, so I'm going to have to spend time with her. Family comes first. I unfortunately don't live with my family, so I don't get to see them that often. So when I do get to see them, I like to pay attention to them, and if I have to be honest with you guys, I'd rather spend time with my mom than spend time with you. If I have to be honest. So the way my next 2 weeks are set up, I'm going to be relatively busy with family, but I'll do my best to make sure that I'm watching the games and I'm recording videos when I can. But yes, just to let you guys know, so that if I'm not live streaming after a game, it's not because I don't want to or because I'm lazy. It's probably because I'm with family, and but I'll make sure to watch every game. That's the minimum that I can do, to watch every game. Okay. Olu says Malawi is Timu Zambia. Victor Cobham says, I think Ghana will top the group with Cameroon coming in second. Always. South Africa always wants to go toe to toe with us. Foxy Arrow says Cameroon to win the group. They will be that team that no one thinks can be a contender, but with low pressure, they will sneak into later rounds. Okay, Smith Layi, let's make our series of predictions before we move on from the WAFCON 2026 topic. Let us start with champion. Who do you see? Who do you see as the champion?
I can't bet against Nigeria, even if we have issues with the NFF and also the coach. I think the guys can rally around and and perform and bring the 11th crown. For me, I
Nigeria.
can never bet against Nigeria. That is it.
Okay.
Despite
Same
that
here.
things are not really working well, I cannot bet against Nigeria. The first time I bet against Nigeria, I regretted it. That day, I can never bet against Nigeria. Nigeria to win.
Okay, Nigeria. Same. I agree with you. Nigeria to win the WAFCON for the 11th time. Surprise package. Which team do you think would surprise us in this tournament?
Ghana. I don't maybe can be surprised.
Yeah, relatively, they were not in the semis last year or last time.
They
So
were in the semis.
they went. Oh, so wait, it
Yeah.
was. Oh, they played against Morocco.
Yeah, they just thought. I think they just
Oh,
thought penalties.
okay. So I guess they're not really a surprise package then.
They beat South Africa in top place.
They beat
So
South
it won't
Africa.
be a surprise.
So
So it
yeah,
can
they're
be a
not
surprise that I've watched. I think Kenya.
Kenya.
Kenya can be a surprise package. If they
Well,
don't go
yeah.
there and just lie down and be
Me,
beaten.
I personally wouldn't tip them to even leave their group, but if they do and they get to like the semi-finals, I think that
No
would definitely.
quarterfinal.
So okay, the
If they could
surprise
leave the
is
group.
the surprise is that they will leave the group.
Yes. Just think that I've watched some of their games before, and I think that they gave Cameroon problem. One of the games, like the way they beat Cameroon. So I was wondering that what they could be the surprise package actually.
All right. I think for me, surprise package, I'll go between Cape Verde and Mali.
Okay.
Between Cape Verde and Mali, I think one of those teams can go far. Mali, look, yeah, I think one of those two teams can go far. Mali lost to Morocco at the last one, in the first knockout round, which of course you would expect Morocco to beat them, but maybe this year can be a little bit different for them. And Cape Verde, if they leave their group, that's already a surprise. So why can't it happen? That's the way I'm kind of looking at it.
Yeah.
Why can't it happen? So yes, my surprise package, Mali or Cape Verde. I can't really choose between the two. Biggest disappointment. Which team do you think would disappoint?
Cameroon. I think Cameroon. They didn't qualify for this AFCON. They qualified because it was expanded because of their ranking. So I think Cameroon will be gets disappointed. Nigeria came to beat them in the qualifiers in their backyard. I think they will be the biggest disappointment.
I mean, considering the fact, like what you said earlier, this Cameroon squad is not the Cameroon squad that we are used to. They are going through a transition period in their football.
There's no
So
transition. Your team, the age grade is not working. Nothing is working. If they fail to qualify for all the age grade tournaments, nothing is working. That women football at your team. They are not transitioning from anything. They are going down.
for me, my biggest disappointment is going to be Zambia. I don't think Zambia will do anything in this tournament. I mean, obviously, I might be wrong. I can easily
Is Nora up to still a coach
of Zambia?
Yes.
Who's the head?
Nora she's a very good
No, the coach is Bruce Mwapi.
Oh, they've Sacked Nora too. Okay, they didn't pay her salary. I remember she left. They didn't pay her salary. She left. So Nora was with Ghana before. Very very good coach.
Mm.
Very good
So
coach.
yeah,
Also, she lost 5-0 against Nigeria, but she's still very good.
yeah. So I'll go with Zambia as my disappointment. I don't expect too much from them. Maybe they'll finish with 3 points in the group stage, or even if they get to the knockout rounds, they will lose in the first knockout round. Oh, Colin says Mwape is dead. Ha.
Hmm?
Okay, so thank you for that, Colin. Let me see. So who's the Zambia head coach? Okay, yeah, right. It's Noah Hapto.
You're up to okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's my fault. Thank you. Nora. So Nora Hapto is still the head coach. Okay. Colin says, I'm going with Mali. I like the looks of Aissata Traore. If she can get some food supplies from some good supplies, obviously not food, some good supplies from midfield, she has the ability to hurt both Ghana and Cameroon. So Colin is agreeing with one of my potential surprise packages in Mali. So yes. Thank you for the correction. Nora Hoptul is still the head coach of Zambia. Okay. Okay. Next one, Smilai. So we've done champion, surprise package, disappointments, golden boots.
Esther Koronko.
That was who I picked as well, Esther Goronko. I think she scored a lot of goals last tournament. She got good assists. If she can get, quality supplies with Super Falcons play, well, I think Esther. She's probably going to be the number one striker for Nigeria. So yeah. Esther Okonkwo. Yeah, I give her that one. Thank you for the super chat for Abi Busayo. Much appreciated. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much. Look,
so Nora is still the coach.
yeah, Nora is still the coach. I double checked.
I mean that she stayed though.
Yeah, Nora.
She obviously had issues with finances.
So I think somebody said she's doing part time now.
Okay, she's doing part time. Okay.
So yes. See, you guys, I said like the video. People liked it. They've now gone to unlike. You know what? Let me know.
No, I don't think it's on. I think sometimes it's like that.
Sometimes the thing just okay, because and they still say the likes don't reduce. I say
I think the light will come back when you finish.
Okay. I said what's going on. But yes, okay. So Esther Okoronkwo, we both have Esther Okoronkwo for golden boots. Golden ball. Or best player. Me, I'll go with Ajibade. I think Ajibade, I'm tipping Ajibade to have a better tournament than the last tournament she had, even though she was the player of the last tournament. I think that statistically, this tournament should be better for her. But again, it depends on Justin Madugu, because if Madugu does not put her in an attacking position where she can actually score goals and get assists, then statistics might not really be there. But I do think, that Ajibade has the chance to retain her MVP of the tournament. Who is your dark horse for player of the tournament?
What was that guy that played for Nottingham Forest?
For Nigeria?
The Ghana girl that played for Nottingham Forest.
The Ghanaian girl?
Yes, she played for Nottingham Forest.
Which Ghanaian girl is that?
Yes.
Chantel.
Yeah, Chantel. I think she's really, really very good, especially playing for Ghana. So I think she might probably be that player. She was so good in last AFCON, and I think that though, a couple of players in Ghana national team that I think can show do it, but that Chantel seems to be someone that she normally changes everything.
Dark horse for player of the tournament. This is a tricky one. I don't know. I'm tempted to go with another Nigerian player because I do think that Nigeria would win. And if Nigeria wins, then the Nigerian is probably going to be the player of the tournament. So who's the player that's out of the Nigerian players? Maybe obviously Esther Okoronkwo is quite obvious, and Ajibade is relatively obvious. I think somebody that has potential to be the player of the tournament in this tournament for Nigeria, they won't give a defender. So I have to go with a midfielder and attacker.
Mhm.
Jennifer Echegini.
Mm.
Obviously, again, it depends on Justin Madugu and how he uses her. If he actually uses her, if he actually uses her. But yeah, I would say Jennifer Echegini. I think. Look, man, I really like. I've watched her a lot for Paris Saint Germain. I've seen Jennifer Echegini is like a baby Frank Lampard in terms of her movement, in terms of her arriving late in the box, in terms of the quality that she has from deep midfield positions, and also getting closer to the goal. She can score, she can assist, she can drive with the ball. She's very, very good. At club level, she's very, very good. And I don't know how Jose Madugu is going to use her. Because last WAFCON, he didn't really use her. And she was the one that ended up scoring the winning goal in the final. But I really do hope that he gives her more of a chance in this tournament. I don't necessarily think that we need to play two defensive midfielders in this tournament, which it sucks a little bit, but I think that you can go into most games in this tournament, play one holding midfielder and play two central midfielders, one box to box and one more of a deep line playmaker type of role. And I think that Echegini can be our box to box or even our deep line playmaker. But again, it all depends on what Justin Madugu decides to do. I didn't like the way he played her at the last WAFCON, and it will be interesting to see how he plays her this next WAFCON. But I think I would go with Echegini for that one. And then finally, this one is I think we'll probably have the same answer. Golden Gloves.
Chiamaka Nadozie. Chiamaka Nadozie
Yes.
is the favorite. Yeah.
Yes, Chiamaka Nadozie. I mean, no, Nigeria probably would have the best defense at the WAFCON. I mean, to be fair, I shouldn't say that with all confidence. We don't have Ashley Plumter. Ashley Plumter's influence in that defense should not be underestimated at all or undervalued. And her missing from this tournament, I think, is a relatively big blow for us. We still have good players, so we might not feel it as much as if it was like another team that lost her. But
Yeah.
I do think that it's going to be a sizable miss for us in our defense. So maybe our defense might not be as great as it was at the last tournament, but I still think that Nadozie will keep the most clean sheets and be the best goalkeeper. Colin says I like Jamilusi as top scorer. That's a dark horse. Yes, that's a dark horse. Jamilusi can have a, and when I did my initial WAFCON squad breakdown, I spoke about her and how she can have a big tournament. She surprised me at the last WAFCON for Lasha Jamilusi. Surprised me. I wasn't expecting her to fit in so well, playing at that level and be so good, and she really was. So I agree that could be a player that really shocks us. Top scorer.
I don't
Let's
think
see.
so.
Let's
Top
see.
scorer.
But yeah,
I think she got
Jamilisi can
she got
have
well.
a very good
Yeah, I think
tournament.
she got well.
Okay. Some of the Madigo is not technically sound because let's at this point the coach is the coach. Nothing we can change. Nothing we can change about the coach at this point. So we have to accept him, however technically sound or unsound he is, and let's just see what he can do at this tournament. You know. Smith, okay, let me ask you. I said this on my own squad preview, but let me ask you. So, how would you set your team up for this WAFCON? What's your best Super Falcon starting level?
So for me, I think I will go with obviously Shema Kanadoze, to be in goal, and on the left hand side I will play Michel Adoze.
On the
On the
left.
right hand, yes, on the left hand side
Hmm.
of defense I will play Michel Adoze. On the right I will play Shukura Ladapo. On the right hand side I will play
You
Shukura
play
on the
who?
right hand.
Sugar. Okay. Okay.
Shukura Ladapo, and I will play the two on Osinacho Ali and those in the main central defense.
Hmm.
So I will play Christy Ushebe, Deborah Abiodun. It's going to be a 4-3-3 formation. I'll play Christy Ushebe, Deborah Abiodun, and Jennifer Echegide, in
Hmm.
that central area. Then on the right hand side, I will play Omorisola Babagide, will be on the right. On the
Hmm.
left, I will play Esther Koronko in that middle part. And I was thinking about maybe I should Ajibade to the left, so to the right. Yeah, Ajibade to the right, or Monisha Babagide. Ajibade to the left, Babagide to the right. Then
Esther
this
in the middle.
is that. But you know that Babagide and Jennifer can exchange. They can move around easily in that
Mm.
front line. So I want it to be like a very fluid front line, like everybody can score, can be at the center, can score. And when you have Bagide can shoot but score. So when you have Bagide, Anthony Payne, I'm not really sure about that, but I just think that I like she can run very well, she can cut back and everything. So I just want like a fluid,
For the
system,
attack.
a fluid attack. Yeah.
It's interesting because you already know that. Let's be honest. We know that Madugu is not going to play Ajibade as a winger. He, he really likes Rashidat in the middle, for whatever reason. It's crazy because I remember Randy Waldron was the first to play her in the middle against Canada, and people were criticizing him back then when he did it. And that's where Madugu has been playing her. I mean, I'm of the opinion that she's best as an attacker, where she has the pace to run out players, to cross the ball into the box. Even at the last WAFCON, all the games that she really did well was driving wide, with the ball and trying to create chances. Ajibade is not a Kevin De Bruyne. She's not a Rodri. She's not a midfielder, that natural midfielder that is going to have so much influence from the middle of the park. She typically has to still drift wide and create things and make it happen. In that role that he plays Ajibade, I don't love it, but that's where Madugu likes to play her. So it could be more of the same. But I like your starting 11. I think for me, again, the more I think about it, in some games I would not necessarily want to see Uchebe and Abiodun on the field together. I'll probably maybe play only Uchebe, or some games I'll play only Abiodun. Abiodun's issue is,
And Payne.
yeah, for me, Abiodun, the only thing with her is, again, sometimes she can be a little bit indisciplined in terms of yellow cards and all these things like that. But Uchebe also provides us the option of being an extra center back. So in a game where, for example, if you've put Oladipo on the right side, you've played Dimeyan or Ohale in the center of the defense, then Uchebe can substitute and be an extra center back if need be. So yeah, as I saying, Ajibade drifts a lot. So it could be interesting. I think the attack will be relatively fluid. I think that we will still create some good chances. For me, it's just more so.
What about my left back? You didn't talk about my left back.
Okay, you said Michelle was on the left. No, because I understand the reasoning. I understand the reasoning behind it. You don't trust Glory Ogbonna. You don't trust Sofia Timuro. I understand.
What's Glory Ogbonna doing on that list?
I'm not the one that made the list. You know that since Ashley got injured, Madugu has been calling her up. So it doesn't surprise me. He has been calling her up since Ashley got injured. Look, with all due respect to Goyobona, she's not on par with the rest of the players. She's not a quality player. She has, even the games that she has played, the ones that we're able to watch, because we did not watch many of the games because of NFF issues. The ones that we're able to watch, we've seen that she's not on that level. She really is not good enough to be a starting player for Nigeria. We know that. Rofia Timuro playing in England, she better be leaving London City, because London City right now, they are assembling the Avengers in that team. And the way it is looking, I don't think she can be a starter at London City anymore. Not that she was a starter before, because she's already on the bench. But now I don't even see her getting minutes. I don't know if you've been seeing the players they are signing in that London City. They are signing everybody, like proper ballers in London City Lionesses. I digress. But yes, so Imura, I would like to say Imura as the starting left back. But if you don't trust her enough and you want Michelle Alozie to deputize, I can understand it. I definitely can understand it. Michelle Alozie can play from either side. So yeah. And defensively, she's more solid than Rofia Timuro, which is crazy to say because she's really a striker. Because she's really a striker slash winger. That left.
With left now.
She went to go and play. She went to go and play penalty. That's so we don't see ball again. Here we go. Uh-huh. But I mean, yeah, I hear you. I mean, it could be an interesting one. Like I said, the only thing that you are doing is that you are not leaving us with any center back on the bench. Mm-hmm. Because once you take Shukurat and you play Shukurat on the right, and then you even said you play Uchebe, so you already have all our top center backs on the field. Mm-hmm. So if we have to make a sub, it's a shuffling thing. If you want to take, you move pieces.
I can't afford to keep Shukurat on the bench.
Shukurat is a fantastic player. She just had a big season. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If Michelle is on the left, Shukurat will be on the right, no doubt. Because she's the next best right back. It's kind of interesting. Let's see. Some people were saying, I saw somebody on my in my comments that was saying that Osinachi Ohale should not start. What do you think about that?
I think the experience is very important. If you want to ease her out of the team, you should ease her out slowly.
Hmm.
Which I think that Osinachi Ohale, you know, I don't think Tosin the man can control that defense herself. Honestly. I still don't
Hmm.
think she gets nervous sometimes. And that is it.
Hmm.
She gets nervous sometimes. So I think that natural replacement should be Shukra Sadako. And that's useful exuberance too from Shukura. She can just go and dive in. She's so strong and just want to jump everywhere and everything. So I just think that they need the calmness of us naturally.
Hmm. Who's your super sub? When you want to change the game from the bench, who do you bring on?
If I want to change the game, I think for like Jamilusi.
Hmm.
I think she's someone that despite that she might be clumsy sometimes, but she can just move, play with tight leg and everything, just move forward. Yeah, I think and she would like her. Glory is he? Not Glory. Joy Omewa. Is it Joy Omewa?
Yeah.
The one that just joined here. So can also be very instrumental, but she's like Desire and Paranose. She better start the game. Not someone that can, I don't know. Maybe she works defensively, to actually what help the team, but she's just similar to, Ifoma Numonu, the Operanose type of
Hmm.
striker. Very dominating the box and everything. So
Hmm.
I would prefer for Hadi Jamilos to come in.
Okay, so strikers, we have Esther, we have Joy Omewa, we have Yehezuo, we have Uche Nakanu, we have Asisato Shwala.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your second and third choice strikers?
Oshuala.
Oshwala, second or third?
Oshuala should come after Okoronko.
Okay, so Esther is your
But
first choice.
yeah, first
Oshwala is the
choice,
second choice.
second
Then
choice,
who's
yes.
who's third choice?
The Joy girl.
Joy, ahead of Chinwendu Ezo.
You don't know what you're gonna get from Chibuike. That is my problem with her. You don't know what today she can do well, tomorrow she can, you don't know what you're gonna get. Uwezu and Uche Nakano, I don't know what to get from them.
Hmm.
Uche Nakano can be the best player in this game. The next game she can just switch off. But you know exactly what you're gonna get from Esther Goronko all day, all night. And Ochoala, put the ball in the right place. Ochoala will score. You know what you're gonna get.
Hmm.
You don't know what you're gonna get from Senegal. You can dribble, cut back, and you don't go. You don't know what you're gonna get from those people. So Iwezo is very good, but I saw her play against Brazil. I was not impressed that day. So I think she was one of
Well,
the people that
but
made
she
us
did
look
well at the
like
last half. She did well at the last WAFCON now. Relatively well.
I just think that Okoronko is miles ahead of.
Hmm. You know something that I
Well,
find so interesting? The two players that are just they are such an enigma to me in the Super Falcons, Esther Okoronkwo and Michelle Alozie.
mhm.
Because I watched them at club level. Michelle Alozie, in fact, is to me, oh, if she was not Nigerian, nobody can convince me that she's a good footballer.
Mm-mm.
If she was not, I'm telling you, honestly, this is just my objective reasoning. If I don't watch her for Super Falcons, if it was just club, you cannot convince me that she's a good footballer. She does not play nada for her club. Nothing. Esther Okoronkwo, if I based on her club, I'll say she's okay. Not the best player in her team, not scores a few goals, but she's still not top scorer in her team, not one of the best players in the league, objectively speaking. I watch the league, is my local league here. But these two people, when they play for Nigeria, they deliver. Michelle Alozie is always one of the more consistent performers. She might not give you a 9 or 10 out of 10, but you can expect a 7.5 from Michelle game after game. And Esther, since she came into the squad, she's been delivering. She's been scoring goals in bunches, important goals, quality goals. She's been showing skill. She plays with a level of confidence and flair that is so puts a smile on your face when you're watching her play football. We've spoken about in the past how some people do well at national team level, don't do. Why do you think this is the case for these two players in particular? Why do you think that their national team performances are so impressive, but at club level, they don't blow you away?
Maybe just the formation. It could be the formation. It could be the maybe they are more the environment could also be that motivation sometimes too. Because some people when they wear the jersey, I spoke to one Super Falcon player before the past. They said that when the national anthem, they don't stand. Not the one, no, talking about the.
Rise of
I don't
compatriot.
they forget that one, self. Arise to call Patriot. When they say something, they enter the body. Say it's like the load they come out. Say you don't know. It's like you are now possessed. So some people play well, when it's national team. So for me, I just think that it could be the environment, it could be the motivation, it could be formations too. You never actually what know. But like you rightly said, you cannot fault Alozie and Okoronkwo's performance for the national team.
Okay. So you said you trust the experience of Osinachi Ohale in defense. So Smilai, why do you trust her experience, but you don't trust the experience of Francisca Odega? Hmm. Okay. I'll let Smilai ponder on that. While I'm waiting for Smilai to respond to that question, guys, please, if you want to join the show, if you want to share your thoughts on any of the topics that we've discussed today, I've pinned the link on YouTube. So please click the link. Make sure that you have your camera on. Make sure that we can hear you as well, and we'll give you a few minutes to talk before we wrap up today's show. If you want to call in, now is the chance to do so before today's show. Okay, Smilai. So yes, why do you trust the experience of Osinachi, but you don't trust the experience of Francisca?
Of what?
Francisca
Experience
Odega.
of Shinashi, I display what Oshuela.
No, you say you trust. I say, why don't you trust the experience of Francisca Odega?
See, Isodega got UEFA badge because
Does
I don't know.
Osinachi have UEFA badge?
No, because see, when last did Odega performed well for the national team? When last? If not because of cry that we cried, social media campaign, she have been at the Olympics.
Mm.
Hey, I'm not begging to go somewhere. I'm not. This is a lie. Those things are just lies from the pit of hell. When last did he play? When they brought her against Canada, and she caused penalty. That last World Cup.
Mm.
She played against Zambia in the third place in that AFCON that Randy Wardrum coached us. Remember
Yeah.
that AFCON that we came forth? Nonsense. She and Gift Monday, they played rubbish in that game. When last can you point that Odega has played? See, the friendly match that she will play against Nigeria, she nearly spoiled the good work where people don't do. So for me, I don't understand um, why Justin Madigo selected Francisca Odega. See, that's what I normally tell these people. Odega is a very good player for Nigeria in the past. I watched her play on the 17, on the 20 for Nigeria. In fact, she played, very good player. Odega, very, very good player. But she needs to understand something now that she's no longer the same player. So that's why I don't know her role. That's why I asked you the question. Does she got a UEFA badge? Is she going to be assisting Justin Madugu on the bench? Because I don't know her place in this team. What did Odega do in the last WAFCON triumph? Tell me the reason why Francisca Odega should be in the Super Falcons. Just one reason. There's nothing. The pace is no longer there again. Nothing. For me, I think people should learn to respect themselves. Honestly. They should learn to respect themselves. If it's a young player that is coming in for Odega instead, okay, if it's not even good enough, in the future, it can be better. But for me, forget about it. Talking about experience, which experience, IoT? These guys,
multiple World Cups.
What is multiple? These the many they already experienced. Chimaka Nadozie, AFCON champion. So she won AFCON before. She got that experience. Uchebe won AFCON before. Deborah Abiodun won AFCON before. She got the experience. What is now the multiple? These ladies that are going,
4-time WAFCON champion.
Forget those things. Forget those things. Forget those things. These girls are now experienced. She's not needed again. She's not. People criticize, oh, we are abused. We are talking today. Oshola should be there. Franny should not be there. But Oshola is clearly more effective. Look at the game against Senegal. You can see that Oshola can still contribute to this team. Franny is not doing the same. That is why we serve Onome Ebi until she can no longer carry her leg again. It should not be like that. People should learn to respect themselves. She should not turn to the same Onome Ebi again. I beg. You should move on from her.
All right. Let's yes, that's that on the WAFCON 2026. Of course, we'll be waiting to see if there's any friendly that they will play. It's not looking very likely right now. But yes, the tournament kicks off officially on the 26th of July. Nigeria's first game is on the 28th of July against Malawi. Our second game of the group stage will be on the 1st of August against Zambia, and wrap up the group stage on the 5th of August against Egypt. All games are going to be played in Rabat. Okay, that is that about that. Finally, before we wrap up, I want to just quickly talk to you guys again about the EaglesTracker Awards 2026. If you've been following on our social media, you would have seen that the award announcement started today. Today, 4 awards were announced: the goalkeeper of the season, defender of the season, midfielder of the season, and the forward of the season. We had the winner of the goalkeeper of the season was Maduka Emilio. That's his middle name, I think. Emilio Okoye. Of course, had a fantastic season with Udinese in the Italian Serie A, kept 10 clean sheets, made 80 plus saves, had a very good 70-something percent, I think, save percentage ratio. Like I was explaining last week, we came up with a proprietary performance index that we used to analyze players, and Maduka Okoye finished number 1 out of all the goalkeepers that were compared. So congratulations to him for that one. The defender of the season was Chibuike Nwaiwu. Chibuike Nwaiwu contributed massively for Trabzonspor after joining them. Of course, had a good time with Wolfsberger as well before he joined them, and of course won the Turkish Cup, scored some goals, got 1 or 2 assists, contributed massively. Defensively, I believe he had 2.3 tackles completed per 90 minutes, 2.5 blocks made per 90 minutes, 0.9 interceptions per 90 minutes, leading all Nigerian defenders in these statistics. The only person that beat him was Calvin Bassey, had 2.4 tackles per 90, whereas he had 2.3 tackles per 90. But in the other defensive statistics, he was the top Nigerian defender, across many other statistics. So he had a fantastic year, and of course won a trophy as well. So yes, the defender of the season was named as Chibuike Nwaiwu. I left a comment on our Instagram saying, okay, as we've given him an award, we should send money to his OP. But the midfielder of the season was Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi had a fine season for Fulham. He played 33 games, scored 4 goals, made 3 assists. He had 1.8 chances created per 90 minutes and had a fine season. Of course, we compared about 20-something midfielders across all the different leagues, and Alex Iwobi ended up on top. There were some close competitors. This one wasn't as straightforward as Nwaiwu. I would say that this one was a little bit closer in terms of the final output. And while on the official award announcements, we don't usually give like second place or third place. I can just let me quickly look at our data that we had, and just for the sake of that, I guess let me just say for the defender of the season, second place was Calvin Bassey, third place was Emmanuel Fernandez. In case anybody was wondering, for midfielder of the season, the winner was Alex Iwobi. Second place was Jennifer Echegini, and third place was Frank the Tank Onyeka. And then for the forward of the season, this award was won by Paul Iberi Onwachu. After comparing statistically, it was one of the things of like, oh, how do you compare? This one was pretty straightforward because the 2 top performing strikers play in the same league, so we didn't even have to compare league coefficients there. But yes, Paul Onwachu was number 1, Victor Osimhen was number 2, number 3 was Ademola Lookman, number 4 was Moses Uso, number 5 was Femi Aziz. So yes, this one, some people might be wondering, But yes, statistically speaking, Polonuachu had a better season than Victor Osimhen. And I know Osimhen had more assists, goals plus assists. I think they finished with the same combined number. But we didn't just use goals and assists. We also looked at statistics like their shot accuracy, shots on targets per 90 minutes, and other factors that we use into calculating really the attacking effectiveness. It's a whole mathematical formula that I cannot really go into right now. But Polonuachu ended up number one. Victor Osimhen ended up number two. So congratulations to Polonuachu for that. One, we have more awards to be announced in the next 2 days. Tomorrow is going to be day two, and the award winners that will be revealed tomorrow will be the revelation of the season. So this revelation of the season is the award for the player that had the best breakout season in the 25-2026 season. We would also have the Young Player of the Season award, so the best under 23 player in the season, and then we would have the Fans Player of the Season, both male and female. So we posted on our page 2 days ago for people to vote for their Fans Player of the Season, and the people that amass the highest number of votes across our social media platforms will be winning this award. And on the final day of the award, which will be July 22nd, we will reveal our men's MVP, women's MVP, and then our Nigerian team of the season. Our Nigerian team of the season is one that always creates a lot of conversation because people will start saying, hey, what of this player? What of that player? How did this one make it? How did that one not make it? Again, everything is backed by statistics. Everything is backed by research. Nobody does as much tracking and as much research as EaglesTracker, period. So statistics, 40% of the scoring breakdown, consistency, 30%, your league, 15%, and your team success, another 15%, is how we come up with all our award winners and everything. Lots of research, deep numbers, analytics, everything put into it. If you're not already following, make sure that you follow on EaglesTracker NG on Instagram, follow on Facebook as well, so that you are up to date with everything in terms of the awards, and so that when the new season rolls around in August and we're tracking and we're updating, you are very aware of which Nigerian players are performing. Because one thing that I've noticed is, shout out to all our subscribers. I love every one of you guys, all our subscribers. But one thing that I've noticed is that there are many people, especially when it comes to women's football, especially, it happens on the men's side, but when it comes to women's football, so many people don't watch women's football, period. They watch the Super Falcons when they play at the WAFCON, but they don't watch women's football. But these same people that don't watch have such strong opinions on everything. Oh, this player is this, that player is that, this player is this, that player is that. But in the whole season, you only watched one game that the player played this season, or maybe you didn't even watch one game for their club. And it makes me wonder, like, why don't you then keep quiet, sit back, and listen to people that watch and that have better opinions than you? It's even down to players like Esther Okonkwo. Like, a lot of people did not watch one game that she played for AFC Toronto. But if I say she's not great at club level, somebody will come and argue with me. But you didn't even watch one game that she played. So how do you know how good or not she is at club level? At best, you went to check how many goals she scored. But you don't know how many goals other people in that same league scored. You don't know the effectiveness of her in her team. So I encourage people. I'm not saying don't have opinions. I'm saying watch. Actually watch. So that your opinions are backed with information and good information. Not just your random feelings. Not just your random opinions. Because I've seen so many people that were arguing, why is Oshoala in the team? Sebastian would have been caught up ahead of Oshoala. And I laugh and I'm like, there's no coach on planet Earth that has any kind of badge that will pick Sebastian over Oshoala in 2026 for this tournament. Maybe in the future. So I just encourage people, actually watch. Like, I understand that Premier League is fun and La Liga is fun. But if you are a fan of Nigerian football, try to watch. I know it's not your job, so I'm not asking you to be like me that watches 20 matches in one weekend. But watch. Just try to watch so that you can give informed opinions. Women's football especially, people don't watch at all, but they have such strong opinions on players and on the national team players all the time. If you only watch somebody at national team level, you can't really speak for the person as a footballer. You can speak about how they perform for Nigeria, fair, but you can't really speak about them as a footballer as a whole. So please, I encourage you guys to watch. Okay, seems like we don't have any guest callers this evening, so we're gonna have to wrap up very, very quickly. Somebody see, Abuba wants to give us bonus content. He's talking about Maduka Okoye. Maduka Okoye is, look, that's what they say, more money, more problems. I know it's not necessarily more money in his case, but small fame, where Maduka don't see. Now some people won't start to they bring problem coming way. I cannot speak on Maduka's baby mama. I cannot speak on how we treated her. I don't know. I was not in their relationship. It's all allegations. She's saying he did this, he did that. She said he cheated on her with both men and women. I saw that when I laughed. But look, for whatever reason, that woman is not happy that Maduka is getting attention, and she's lashing out. I don't know what happened. I hope there's nothing crazy. He cannot respond. He's on dates with Cardi B in Venice. So what was his issue with somebody that is ranting on social media about him? Whereas the small fame where Maduka see, small fame where you see like this, somebody is coming to just come and pour sand on inside his Gary. But yeah, it is well. I hope Maduka sorts out his personal life. I don't have anything to say. It is his life. I was not there when he was having the sex. So it's not me that will come and comment now that the child is born. And children are, regardless of how children come, I think children are a blessing. So yeah, that's that. Okay, guys, the World Cup is over. The WAFCON is starting in 6 days. Watch out for the content on EaglesTracker. It will be coming back to back. Also actively recording new episodes of the Home of Nigerian Football Podcast for you guys. So make sure that you are staying tuned for that one. And yeah, if there's anything that you want us to talk about on any shows, anything that you want me to do a video on, any content ideas that you have for us that you would like to see on the channel, please, whether you're watching live, whether you're watching on replay, just tell us in the comments that you want to see more of this, you want to see less of this, you want us to start talking about this, whatever it is. Send me a DM if you don't want us to put it in public. Just, we're always trying to grow, we're trying to expand our bank of content, we're trying to do more. If you think you want to be a part of what we do, and you want a platform that you can come and share your knowledge, you want to share your talent, this is also a platform that is open to you guys. If you want to be a part of this, as long as you can put out quality content, look, we can give you a platform to come and share your content as well. We're trying to expand. I've always said that I don't want EaglesTracker to be an IoT thing. I want EaglesTracker to be a platform where multiple people can become their own personal brands. Multiple people can grow. Look at what Smith Layi is doing with gun football. Like, that's the way it has to be for like, I want everybody to just be able to come, talk, go do their own thing. Just don't forget me when you blow, but do their own thing, and we all grow together. Nobody goes in isolation. The sky is big enough for all of us to fly. I'm a strong believer of that, and we all collaborate and help each other grow. Somebody's IoT, say smash, not sex. Isn't sex is the more cultured? Why would I? Very good. How do you say? Okay, I think we got one person last minute caller. He was engaged with us in the chat, so let me give him the time of day to hear what he has to say. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Colin. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you doing, Ayo?
I'm very well,
Yeah.
thank you. How are you?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I have too much to say. I just wanted to just join in and support and just chat a little bit, see what's going on. As WAFCON is coming, so we need to talk about that.
Okay, Colin, I'll ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What are your thoughts? Give us your honest opinion. What are your thoughts on the inclusion of Francis Odega in the squad?
I don't mind, to be honest. And here's the thing. We have some really good young players coming through. And Odega looks fit. She's been playing. It's not like she's not been playing. She's been playing. And I had a bit of reservation when I saw her name on the squad. But then I watched that last friendly. And even though she was not exactly spectacular, I'd say that she didn't bring the quality of the team down. So, and there's certain times when you get to a certain stage, you need a little bit of that fearlessness, that experience that an older head brings to the squad. Would I have been happy with a younger player? Most definitely. But the one mistake that we're not, let me not call it a mistake, but the one thing that we always do in these parts is that we tend to chase players out because we think they're getting too old, got tired legs, and things like that. But I think I've become too long in the tooth now to look at those things. End of the day, it's can you produce on the pitch? That's what matters. And if we look at other countries, I mean, USA is the benchmark, for instance. Players played for the USA till they were in their 30s and 35s before they went out. We had a similar conversation with some of our basketball people when they were talking about how our team was, had players in their 30s. And I put up a number for them, the US Olympic team. They had, I think Brittany was like almost in her 40s at the Olympic Games. And they had players that were 35, 36 and so on, and they still won gold at the Olympic Games. So end of the day, it's not about how old the player is. It should be about if they can deliver on the pitch and even off the pitch. Because you've also got to ask yourself, a young player coming to the team, they don't carry the same gravitas, both within that team dynamic and against the opposition as an experienced player might have. And they can go there, they can do well, they can bomb out. A young player can bomb out, an old player can bomb out. But end of the day, I think Madigu has earned the right for us to respect his decision.
I guess, and in your own words, you said it's about whether you can deliver. Do you think if Nigeria is chasing a game, if Nigeria needs a goal, can Francisca Odega deliver? Can she still deliver?
I think she can. I think she's one of those players that earlier on her game was based on her speed, on the wide area and a bit of, brains. But I think now she's adapted her game a little bit. Like I said, I saw that last friendly and I was thinking, okay, I didn't think this was going to be as good as this, but it was. So I think that if we get to the point where, say, in the knockouts, because we'll probably face either Cameroon or Ghana if they do their business. Now, if we get to that point and we're chasing something and you throw Francisca on, I think she's the kind of person that she understands what that game means. She's been there, she knows, so she can come in there and her brain would let her know, look, this is something that we need to win. Now, can the body follow suit? That's what we need to see if that happens. But again, based on what I've seen, I think she's able to do it, and she hasn't done that badly at club level either. So I think she can be a game changer for it. It's just like having Aziza. Aziza is not a starter for us right now. I saw her games here when she was at Bay FC, and it was a bit hit and miss a little bit until she went to Saudi Arabia, and then she kind of picked up again. So when you put those two side by side, they're almost at the same age level and also same but not Minnesota's performance is way up there. But yeah, and you wouldn't. I mean, I think I heard you say you wouldn't drop Azizat because not only does she's not a starter anymore. That we can all agree that Azizat is no longer a starter for the Super Falcons. What she would be an impact player, and then she also brings something of a fear factor to the opposition because when they know, okay, Azizat is coming on, even if you don't think she's going to be effective, but as a defender, you hear Azizat and something in your brain kind of goes, okay, I got to be a little bit more careful here because if she gets in the right spot, she can make you pay. It is similar with Odega. If Odega can get herself free on that right-hand side, she can deliver balls that would be effective for the likes of Jamilusi, Omewa, or Monday to make hay with.
All right. I personally would be surprised if Odega even accumulates up to 90 minutes total in this whole tournament. To be honest, I really don't see her getting on the field much, but I do hope that if or when she plays, she would be able to have some impact and deliver, like you said. Smith Layi, you muted yourself, so I have a feeling that you want to say something.
Oh, sorry. I just think that since in those crucial games that Madugu needed help from the bench, she did not trust Francisca Odega to come on.
In the last WAFCON.
She has never trusted Odega to come on. I think Odega played against Algeria, if I'm not mistaken, in that group game, the last WAFCON. So for me, I just think that she's actually past her best. And I don't think the coach can say that, you know what, the way she called on the way he called on Maurice Lalbagide, all those girls that came on against Morocco, to change that game that day. She cannot say that he cannot say that what the guy actually was to command. For me, I can't remember the last time that she played a very good game for Nigeria. I'm just
2019.
trying to scratch my head back.
Mm.
I remember against Zambia in the third place playoff in Morocco, not the one that won the world drum.
Yeah,
Took
22.
charge. She was awful in that in that game. Even during the World Cup, when she had the time against England, she came on in that game against England.
Yeah.
It was Michelle Alozie that was doing those runs. England already won woman dan. I expect her to be able to contribute more in that game, but she didn't do anything. It was Michelle that nearly won a penalty, in that game that was making those runs. So for me, I just think that that's why I asked AyoT that is she a coach that she wants to maybe help the touchline. I don't think the coach will trust
Mm.
her to come on.
Okay. Let
But
me.
maybe the coach will see something differently, in training that I don't see. But even the friendly game that they played, she came off in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah,
In the
it's
friendly game, at least you should be able to have the confidence to start her. Say, "Oh, you know what?
he
Come on,
started.
45. Let me
Didn't he
see."
start her in the first friendly? If I'm not mistaken, did she not
Yeah,
start?
yeah, he did.
She
She
started
started
the
the
four.
first
I think she
friendly.
started even against Cameroon also.
Yeah.
But when she came on in that, I think you can even judge when her performance. But I just think that with her performance, I don't think she's way below the girls in the team.
Mm.
I just think so.
Okay. Let me ask another question to Mr. Colin. So let's talk about the defense of the Super Falcons. I was speaking earlier and I said for me, Ashley Plumter's absence is going to be felt. How heavy we feel it depends on how the rest of the players step up to the plate. I think that we still have good enough players, but not only the defensive quality of Ashley Plumter, but also just her intelligence, how she organizes the team, how she commands everybody, how she contributes really is something that we don't necessarily have in the other players to that level at least. What do you think the Super Falcons need to do to still be able to have a solid defense? Who would you play at left back? Smith Layi, for example, said he would move Michel Alozie to left back and play Shukurat on the right. Some people would rather play Raphael Onyedika, who is a natural left back, to start from a position. How would you go about it?
I mean, if you remember when Randy first invited Imran, his idea was she should understudy, and he saw as a long-term replacement at that left back. And that's one area where we've been lacking for a long time. Unfortunately, Vera Bona doesn't cut it for me. And so it's kind of hard, but I think moving Michel Alozie to left back would be a problem for us because what it does is it takes away one of our best attacking players and isolates her in an area where she's not quite as effective as she would be. Don't forget that, first of all, Alozie was a forward. And then Randy took her to right back.
Yeah.
Which she was not exactly a defender, but she at least did her job. So now you don't want to shift her to left back where her strength is not her left foot is a standing peg. It's not exactly efficient. So you want a natural left footer there. And I think that I would keep Imuran there as a natural left footer just to be able to have that balance because we have way too many right-footed players in this team. Not enough, apart from maybe Esther Okoronko, who can deliver balls. Almost everybody else is right-footed. So just having her there is would just be taking away somebody who can give us a great attacking verb on the right. Because don't forget, one of your best ways to defend is to attack.
Yeah.
So if you have your opposition concerned about what's happening down the right-hand side, they're not quite so worried because they know that if they start bombing down there, they're leaving these spaces open. So I think that we keep Sophia there. I mean, what Randy used to do was play Ashley on that left side, and then manage his center back. I think that between Blessing and Sophia, they can handle the center, and even Ohale has enough experience to be able to be a leader at the back. Maybe not of the same level as Ashley, but between Tosin and Osi, I think we have center back covered. So let's have say Sophia or even what's her name? Her name's a Roma girl. I just mentioned her now, and then her name I got my what? Shukrat, exactly. On that side. So the way I see it is we can stick with that, or we can go with 3 backs, and then use that as a foundation to build forward. But having said that, we've gone through the last 2 WAFCONs without a recognized left back. So I think we'll survive. we definitely will survive it. So
sorry, I want to ask, is there any potential? Remember when Randy Wardrum initially was coaching Nigeria, there was the little experiment of Tony Payne playing as a left back. Is there any chance that can happen again?
Look, I wouldn't mind Tony Payne at left back because she has done it before, and again, she has not been excellent at it, but she has held her own. So my thing actually would be, let's say we have Shukrat in there as a left back, then that means we have support, in front of her, and that support can be in the person of Tony Payne, so they can kind of like switch, but that gives you that now kind of affect the dynamics of who you're starting elsewhere in front. So, but I think if you look at it that way, the choice now comes down to, do you start Shukura there and hope that, not Shukura, do you start Imuran there and hope that she can hold her own, and then that gives you more options with your selections up front? Or do you say, okay, we'll put her there and then we'll put Tony Payne there as support to kind of like, lock up that space, and then you give something up front? So end of the day, it comes down to who you're playing against. So let's say, I think our first game is against Malawi.
Yeah.
Yes, first game, and Temwa is a beast. I would not want to see Temwa up against Sofiat or somebody who is not as good. But the good thing is that Temwa operates mostly from the right. She doesn't drift as much, to either side. She's normally stays central, and centrally, Tosin can match up with her for pace. Snatching not so much, but Shukura can also match up with her for pace. It's her strength that's the thing. So if she drifts wide, the advantage is that at least she's not close to goal. So even if she's going there and Imuran or anybody else who's not so strong is taking care of her, there's backup in the center if she decides to come in, in the central areas. So I think that game will give us a lot of information, download about what happens going forward, because you're facing one of the best strikers in the world in Temwa and Tabita, 2 of the best strikers. So, but at least Temwa is one of the best strikers in the world. Malawi doesn't have quite as much quality going back, so we can afford to say, hey, look, let's try different things. Let's see 1v1. Who is she taking on? Who can deal with her? Because we can deal with Temwa. You can deal with anybody at WAFCON. That's my feeling. If a defender can deal with Temwa, they can, because I've seen that girl play, and my word, she is monstrous. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
So that's where I see it.
Okay, I want to progress up the field a little bit now, and let me ask you about the midfield situation. So usually for a while now, we've kind of known that when you come to the Super Falcons midfield, at least for the 2, it is Halimatu Ayinde and somebody else, is what we've sort of known. But when I was doing my breakdown of the squad, I said I would bench Halimatu Ayinde. Reason being that she has not been actively playing for a while now. Since she moved to BK Häcken, she was basically out of the squad. She was there when they celebrated winning the Europa Cup, for the Women's Europa Cup, but she did not play. She was not even registered for the for the tournament. I know the quality that she brings to the Super Falcons. I can't deny what she did at the last WAFCON, at the World Cup, and even before that. But I'm of the opinion that this is now the time for two reasons. One, we don't necessarily need to win this WAFCON. Like, do we want to win it? Yes, because we always want to win, but we don't necessarily need to win it. So this for me is like the time where you start to trust in a Christy Uchebe more, you start to trust in a Deborah Abiodun more, and allow them, those that will carry us for the next 6-8 years, allow them to take it and to carry go, especially when Halimatu has not been active. What do you think about that?
I don't disagree, to be honest. I think that to start with, again, Malawi gives you a chance to look at things with, it's almost like low risk, it's a low risk opportunity to see what you can do with your team. I wish we had played this friendly against Ghana. I would have been able to at least make some assessment, but hopefully we get to play against Tanzania, like they say. So I don't know. Knowing these folks, they might actually make it a close game, unfortunately, but hopefully they don't. Anyway, but it will give us a chance to kind of see where we're at. Sometimes you have players who don't do anything at club level, but they come to the Super Falcons and they turn into completely different things entirely. And Halimatu might just be one of those. So it's possible that the coach might look at her in practice and then also see her in a friendly and think, okay, she's the one to do this, and then the others might get a chance. Let's not forget, I love Debbie, but Debbie's not a starter as the spirit, mostly because, first of all, she was starting, and then she kind of got a bit of an injury, and then now they kind of stacked up, and she's now more or less, I think she started yesterday. Yeah, she started last night, and then she got taken off. But yeah, I definitely would have Debbie in there because Debbie is the player that I know can track anybody, and she's got good passing range as well. And Debbie has a goal or two in her when she gets in those the top of the box. So I definitely will have Debbie starting. The question now becomes: do we go with Halimatu or Uchebe to go with her? That's a big question. But yeah, I think I would agree with you that maybe Halimatu is not the one, but based on current form. But like I said, I'd like to see, let me just see, even if it's 30 minutes of that friendly, let me just kind of assess where we're at with each of them.
Yeah, okay. And one more thing that I'll ask about the team shape. So you had mentioned Folashade Jamilusi as a player that you think has the potential to even be the top scorer, of the whole tournament potentially. So does that mean that you have her in the starting 11? And if yes, like where would you play her from the start?
I would actually have Jamilusi as our starting striker. Everybody else can play around her.
Number 9.
Yes, I definitely have her as our starting striker. The way our team is set up right now, I don't think we need, or the way our team is based on the personnel we have, I don't think we necessarily need a 9-9. I think what we have are forwards who can move around that front line and do things. I mean, whether it's Omewa, Jamilusi, Monday, you have players who are very dynamic in their movement. I mean, I've watched Monday play a lot. Last season when she scored, 10, 11 goals, and then this season, even though she hasn't scored, if you watch the game yesterday, you could see Monday moves around very, very well. She can pass the ball, and she's your typical fox in the box where, little things she can do just in the box around there. And then you have Jamilusi who can give you goals in much the same way, and Omewa who is a predator on her own right. So I definitely would have Jamilusi as our starting striker, and then I'd have Azizat as our impact sub, and then kind of alternate between Monday and Omewa as support.
So you would play Esther where, like right wing for Esther? Oh.
So Esther is a bit of an enigma for me, to be honest, because she does a lot of good things. And when I look at Esther, I'm thinking, okay, do I play Esther as an 8, just behind? But then again, I think, okay, I'd rather have Rashidat, that high up, orchestrating things. So, and I'd like Esther to be somebody that, and this is why I say it's a bit of an enigma for me, because on the one hand, I like Rashidat just moving around, doing whatever she wants to do, because she's very effective that way. From central, she can drift left, she can drift right. And in doing that, she can give you a lot of great options. Now, Esther is also a similar player to that. Esther can drift as she wants and go here and go there. So, but you can't have two of them doing the same thing on the pitch, because then the team is all out of balance, right? So the question now becomes, do you play Esther on the right, where you're kind of limiting her to sort of like a quadrant of the field? Or do you play her more as a second striker, where she can do all those things and then let Rashidat dictate from where she is? So I guess that's a bit of a conundrum for me. The truth is, I'd like Esther more, in areas where she can be a big influence. So let me see. Should I have her in the center or out wide? That's something to think about. I haven't really thought about it that much. So I haven't really thought about it that way. Yeah. I think, again, let me see. So it depends on where you want to play Rashidat, because first of all, Rashidat is the starter. She's the captain. The two names on that sheet that you will not on the outfield, at least apart from Chamaka, Rashidat and Esther, right? So the question now becomes, who starts where? So if I have Rashidat central, then definitely Esther goes wide. If I have Esther central, Rashidat goes wide. So that's the way it goes.
All right. Smith Layi, do you have any questions from your end? Anything you want to add?
No, I think it's fine. It's just that I think Jamilusi, she can come good. But for this team to win the second title, I just think Esther Koronko.
Second title?
It means
to win the 11th title, like back to back. I think Esther Koronko she'll be so important to this team. For me, I think if she's not scoring, she's creating goals, and she's just going to be so important to this team. So I just want the team to qualify for the World Cup, because I want to see her play at the World Cup. She's going to be so instrumental to this team winning this title. And she was the X factor last time around. Yeah.
I also wouldn't play Ijamelis from striker position, but if somebody wanted to start her as maybe the right winger, it will be hard to argue against it too much, because she really, really impressed me at the last WAFCON. I mean, she even started in the final and she was able to still score a goal in that final. She came in that tournament relatively out of nowhere, really, to be a key player. So that was one thing that I think Justin Madugo really got right at the last WAFCON, in terms of trusting Jamilusi with a little bit of
responsibility,
and she delivered. Esther does what Esther does. Ajibade leads the team. For me, that left wing position is a position where I've been racking my brain a little bit about what is the coach going to do. Is he going to play Rinsola Babajide? In the last WAFCON, he played our opening 45 minutes, and then we did not hear from her again. At some point he played Ihezuo. I think he played Ihezuo in the final. Didn't really work out. Ihezuo is not really a left winger. Maybe you like the fact that she works hard and she can press, but it's not really what she does. So that's the one that I've been a little bit confused. We know Ajibade is starting. We know Okoronkwo is starting. Okay, fine. But who else is going to be in that attack? Especially that left side. I personally am a fan of Babajide. I like what she does. I think she can use her left foot relatively comfortably. She can use her right foot well. So she can either run to the byline or she can cut in. She can score a banger of a goal if you need something out of nowhere. I like her. But based on previous matches, it appears to me that maybe Justin Madugu doesn't like her as much as I do. And he's the coach, so he's the one that eventually gets to make this decision. I know I said that was my last question about the like. What do you think? Who would you play on the left wing? How would you set that
up? Rinsola actually started the last friendly. I think yes, when she came on, I think when she scored that goal. So it's possible that she might be it, because now the way I look at it is this: you have the spine of the team. And that spine is, and when I say spine, it's like Mourinho said, the untouchables, right? You have the goalkeeper, Nadozie. You've got Demehin. Then you've got midfield is where you don't have like certainty, because you can either have, for my spine, Deborah would be mine up there. Then you have Rashidat. Then you have Esther, right? Now, everything else is built around those players. So when you look at that, you now have to think, okay, who are we getting on that left-sided attack? And I think just like Madugu, you probably want to start Rinsola, because you want somebody who's left-footed. But don't forget, we talked about the deficiency we have at left back, and we need somebody who can also, in many ways, fall back, track back, and defend. And we talked about having Tony Payne, in there helping with that work. And then if we're taking Esther off to the right, where does that leave Michelle Alozie? Because Alozie is also more or less a starter, even though I wouldn't put her among the untouchables, but she is, say, like the second tier of starters that you'd expect to be in that starting line. So if you have Esther up there, where do you now put? Because, like you said, Esther and Rashida are a bit interchangeable. So if one is here, the other one is there. So if you're doing that, where do we now have, where does Alozie go? Does Alozie go out to the left? And Alozie can be effective on the left side too, let's not forget, and left side of attack, not defense. So I think that if we're looking at natural left foot, and I like what I saw of Babajide in that friendly. I think she went off in the second game, if I'm not mistaken. I need to go and look at those games again. I think she went off. She started one and went off in the other one, if I'm not mistaken. So we can start her out there, see what happens, and then if she delivers, keep her. If not, making sure I'm getting a 20 Payne in there. I think this is what friendlies are for, to see, to look at these things and look at all these combinations and things. And that's why we needed to have all those friendlies and needed to have everybody in and about so that we can at least assess them properly. And I hope that Justin has enough time between now and, because I think tournament kicks off on the 20?
Officially starts on the 26th. Our first game is on the
28th. Okay, yeah. So he has at least a full week to run through. I mean, he's had a couple of days to run his rule over the ones he has, and then by Wednesday, we should have at least a full week with his team to know who's going where. It's a very short time to do that, but hopefully it comes up with the goods.
All right. Thank you very, very much for your contribution. Okay, I have one super chat comment that is directed at you. So let me just. The person says, Colin, please tell the NFF to convince Onyeka Gamero and Ayo Oke to switch allegiance.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say about that, right? So I'm in the Nigeria Diaspora Talents Committee, which means it's the group that sort of, relates with diaspora players that liaises with diaspora players to see where their head is at, so to speak, and then help them if they want to make a transition to Nigeria. So, and I think so it's a lot of things and players that, not just players, because it's not limited to football. There are a lot of athletes that we're in conversation with that hopefully we can recommend when the time comes, and then also help liaise with the different sporting federations, whether it's the NFF, athletics, whatever sports that they compete in, to see how they can work. A lot of these things are not as straightforward as they look. They are kind of complicated. So, and there needs to be sort of like, not like a bull in a china shop kind of situation. There's a lot of diplomacy, a lot of conversations that need to happen before these things can go. So I understand that, and we have a whole bunch of people in that committee tracking these folks and hoping that we can at least show them the benefits of representing Nigeria as opposed to the other countries. We've had a couple of success stories, which has not, because we just started a couple of months ago. So when I talk of success stories, it's not like, oh, we've got this person to play for Nigeria. It's that we've opened a communication line that, they are seeing things in a more different way than they were seeing it before. So hopefully that can lead to something more concrete, better outcomes in the next in the coming months and the coming years. We even have a young player who's playing for the US right now in a different sport, and reached out to her parents, spoke, and had a good conversation. And that door is open. Where that door was closed before, but now it's at least open to conversation. So yeah, those are the kind of things that will happen.
See, it's when I want to go that people know that they will start sending super chat comments. If I don't take their comments, it's not be as if I chop their money. I did not collect. I did not ask their question. So please, just bear with me. Very quickly, let's take this comment from Charles. We'll just answer very quickly. Charles only cares about NFF. His question is, who is your pick for NFF presidency? Or I believe Somi is talking about this man, the Remo Stars president.
Shoname.
Yeah, Shoname.
He's asking me who my pick is.
Yes, he said, who's your pick? He said, we cannot let Guso come back.
My pick is AyoT.
AyoT is not running for president.
Okay, so here's the thing. As far as I know, the electoral committee has not opened. Well, at least they've not given the guidelines yet for it. So nobody has, apart from Guso, who is the incumbent, nobody else has formally declared that they're running for NFF president. So I think we have to kind of like wait and see what happens there, who is running and who's not running, and then we'll now know if this is a better candidate or not. And, you know, it's hard to say. Look, under normal circumstances, you would have to think that, you know, you want as much competition as possible. You want as much quality candidates as possible to come in there and run and give the incumbent a run for his money. So, and I'm hoping that we can have enough people who will come up and say, I want to run. So that if he wins, at the end of the day, he knows he won. But at least let's have some challenge to say, look, you know what? I want to run for this, and hopefully this happens.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Collins. In fact, you know, you are one of the people that my audience has actually requested multiple times that I should have you on my interview podcast. They want me to ask you questions. You know, you've been in this industry probably longer than I've been alive, maybe even seven. So you have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, you know, and everything. So I think that that's something that I would like to put before you now. Like, I would like to make that happen, you know, for us to speak probably after the WAFCON, you know, so that we can cover a host of topics, you know, including whatever happens at the WAFCON, just to share a little bit more of your opinions and your story with people.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I'm open to it. I'm here. I mean, as long as if we have advance notice and plenty of time, we can set up and have that conversation, and I'm sure it'll be good. I just want to make sure that the Falcons qualify keep that record of qualifying for the World Cup. And I know you know we're one of only 7 countries to have been at every World Cup since 1991. So, and I feel like this is the year when it might be tough, because when you look at our path to the semi-final, it includes one of Ghana or Cameroon, and then South Africa before we get there. And the good news, at least for me, the way I see it, is that South Africa right now are in a bit of a rebuilding phase. You know, even though their team is strong, but I think they are very much at the rebuilding stage. So, but they are still dangerous. Cameroon and Ghana, I think we can handle. It's when we get to that quarterfinal that I'm a bit concerned. So, I just hope that the Super Falcons will put any distraction behind them, because I'm already hearing some rumblings that I don't like going at the moment. You know, hearing that they've been reaching out to complain about certain things. And I mean, I'm okay with making sure you get your entitlements, but don't let it distract from what the goal is. And that goal is to make it to the World Cup, first and foremost. So after that, we can talk about, you know, all of the other stuff that's going on. So, but I would hate for all that to now turn into a distraction, and then we now come to the point where Super Eagles didn't go to the World Cup, Super Falcons didn't go to the World Cup. I would be pissed.
Yeah, I can imagine, because even me now, I know what's the English, the income that I did not make because the Super Eagles were not at the World Cup. So
please let's not talk about that, because if I start if I start asking that question, it will be. If I start talking about that, I'll probably murder somebody. Well, not murder, but I'll probably do something bad to somebody.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Colin. Nice to have you
I
on.
just compliment him for something. For it.
Okay, go on.
Go ahead.
Since you left, I don't know, since you left Nigeria, nobody has covered the local league better than you. And I remember always buying, always reading your stuff. You know, you made me like the local league more when you were writing them. Yeah, honestly, you know, on Friday, then we previewed local league. You know, say, talk about Uga Para of Enyimba. You know, it makes me to want to read more. But since you left, all we see is that Twitter Tigers, you know, covering covering the league. You know, I don't know why you left. Since you left, you know, things have changed, and it's so sad. I'm not lying to you. It's so sad, and but I have to live the way it is. You know, we just that you draw us to like the local league, and nobody tells our story better than what you actually did there, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of guys that are doing a good job. I would hate to say that, you know, I guess part of the reason why I was so invested in the local league at the time is that, well, not at the time, but, you know, is that we always have to start local before we can go global. That's what I tell. I did my forward line workshop for, I think, 4 years, where I trained some young journalists for a while. And the one thing I always told them as my opening during those workshops is that you cannot tell the story of the EPL to anybody better than an Englishman. You cannot tell the story of Spanish La Liga to anybody better than the Spanish guy. Same thing with the Bundesliga. You know, even me, I'm in the US right now. I cannot tell the story of the MLS or any better than the person who has been here and understands the culture that way. So, and even if you're trying to move your game, your professional game from this to this, you're looking at reporting for what is either BBC or ESPN or whatever, those big global media organizations. They're not going to call you to ask you about the EPL or to write about the Spanish La Liga or Champions League. You know, what they're calling you up, they're going to call you about is what is going on in your local league. If something big happens there, or a player does something, or maybe you have a great player who moved from one club to the other club. So if you don't have a grounding in your own ecosystem, you cannot expect to make that breakout into the larger global system. And I think we do ourselves a huge disservice when we talk down on our own competitions, our own events. A lot of things happen everywhere in the world. Whether the EPL is not perfect, La Liga is not perfect, the Bundesliga, nowhere is perfect. But there's a concerted effort by those folks to protect their branding. Because when they that brand and that ecosystem is what everybody feeds out of. A UK publication or broadcaster or media can pay you $200, $300, $500, $1,000, depending on what how their thing is, to report on something about their league, because that league has grown to the point where that story is able to make them money and they can use that money to pay you. Yeah. So, and if we don't develop our own league to that point, we're not going to get there. Look, even as close as South Africa, if you go to South Africa, the PSL feeds publications. Kickoff magazine that we worked for, that I edited for a long time ago. The entire Kickoff magazine in South Africa, the original one, was based out of the PSL. Soccer Laduma is almost exclusively a PSL publication. So when we brought Kickoff to Nigeria, we couldn't do the same thing. Our focus was mostly on Super Eagles and European football. So there was a clear contrast between how Kickoff magazine in Nigeria reported and how Kickoff in South Africa reported. They were focused on the local and then one or two of their Bafana players, while we were focused on our Super Eagles and then, you know, a little bit on the local league. So when we started Go, that I was editor of, Go was supposed to mirror Soccer Laduma, which was to report the MPFL well, by then it was the NFL, to report the NFL, exclusively without international football. But we're not selling. We're not, if our vendors sometimes we would even refuse to carry the newspaper. So we had to now, if a vendor or a vendor agent did not see a Super Eagles player on the cover, they will not take it. Because they will tell you who will not buy. And it was true. If you see an Enyimba player on the cover, nobody will buy. You see, an Enyimba was flying high at the time. But once you put a Super Eagles star, that time was Yakubu, Martin, once you put them on the cover, people want to read what they. So now what we're doing now was we'll use a big interview of like a Super Eagles player on front, and then the rest of the people now chuck all our local news in there. So the Super Eagles player now becomes the selling point, then the other content will now follow.
Hopefully they read the rest of the content.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And me, I like local ego. That local ego is what I read, though.
So exactly. So that's why I keep encouraging us that we have to do our best to promote what is ours, our local league. But it's not just a media issue. It's also administrative from the federation to the MPFL and so on. And I've spoken with them a lot. Sometimes when you see me, in fact, a couple of years ago, I just kind of like I think that's part of why the point that you were making about, not being around. I actually took a walk from everything sports in Nigeria because at that point I was jaded. I had grown cynical because there's so many things you want to make happen. You talk to people and then it just doesn't happen. But I've been privileged enough to be at the point where I can speak to anybody at the top level of Nigerian football. I can pick up the phone and call and say, hey, look, you know what? We can have a conversation like, paddy friends. It doesn't matter who the person. I mean, whether it's Gusso, whether it's Diko or Lokpade, whatever it is. I've worked with everybody to the point where I can pick up the phone and call Buki, the DG of the sports company. Hey, Buki, let's talk, and we can have a conversation. Shehu and I worked together. Even before way back, and then for a while he was chairman of the NFF marketing committee. I was in the committee, and we worked closely together to get all of the sponsorships for the NFF and so on and so forth. So there's almost nobody that I cannot pick up the phone and call and say, hey, look, let's have a conversation. The NFF General Secretary Sanusi, before he was General Secretary, when he was even before he became head of competition at the NFF, we worked together, we've done all this stuff. So, but like I said, there comes a time when you look at all of these things and you think, what the heck? What is going on? Even the club administrators, there are some club administrators who were either players or junior officials, when I was covering the league, and then now they are like club bosses and so on and so forth. So, but when you talk to a lot of these people, you're trying to like say, hey, let's do this, and somehow there's just so many factors that are pulling them. Somebody will tell you, oh, let's do this. I agree. And then 2 days later, you come back and things have gone out of even their own control. It's hard. So that's why I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't. So to take a step back and see. But eventually, again, we'll come down to square one. This is our product. This is our property. This is things that you see other countries doing well, succeeding, and you know that there's a potential to do that here. And it's hard to walk away. that's the unfortunate thing. So yeah, hopefully we'll get there.
I wanted to let Colin go, but you made him say something that made me think of something else that I want to ask. But let's just be as quick as possible. So yeah, sure. I'm going back to the Super Falcons because when we were talking, again, when you said this thing about you can't go global without being local first. With me and even with EaglesTracker, one of the reasons why, like, a lot of the time people say, are you not limiting yourself by only creating content on Nigerian footballers and Nigerian football? Like, why not Ghana? Why not Cameroon? Why not the rest of Africa? Why not, a lot of people ask, why don't you spend time? Like, look at Fanstripe, for example. They create a lot of content on the English Premier League and look at how far their channel have gone. People say, like, oh, why don't you talk about Premier League? Like, people are interested. That's what Nigerians want to hear and everything like that. But I've been very particular about, like, I have a lot of knowledge about Nigerian players and I want to be seen as an expert in that space. in terms of my knowledge. I always say, like, I don't think there's anybody in the world that tracks and follows this week in, week out the way I do, and that's kind of like what I want to be. And then eventually, like, I mean, it doesn't mean I don't watch the Prem, I don't watch La Liga, like, I watch all the games of the World Cup. I still follow football in general, but I really want to dominate the Nigerian space, and then I can put my hand elsewhere. I was even thinking about it, like, for example, over here in Canada, like, TSN was the broadcaster of the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to say, okay, you know what, I want to get a contract job with TSN, just like you were saying, TSN is not going to hire me ahead of Kelvin Kilban or Atiba Hutchinson or any of these guys to come and be on their TV station. Once they can potentially look at me and say, you know what, this guy has a lot of knowledge about the Nigerian players. If Nigeria had qualified for the World Cup, Nigeria is always one of the more storied African teams. So we could have said, okay, you know what, it would be nice to have one guy that has a lot of knowledge that we can report on the Nigerian camp, stuff like that. But I say all of that to say, how much efforts or how much responsibility should we put to even just these national teams, just pushing themselves and allowing their efforts to catch up with the effort that people like yourselves or people like myself are putting in? Because you mentioned how the administration is part of what needs to catch up. Because again, with the WAFCON, the Super Falcons kick off in 8 days, 7 days now for people that are in Europe, at the WAFCON. And just as you were speaking, like, I went on social media, I went on Instagram now, and I'm looking at the official Super Falcons Instagram page. They've been in Morocco for a week now. There is literally one clip or picture. There is one singular post of anything from their training or from what is happening in Morocco. And this one video was posted 3 days ago of goalkeepers, Chiamaka and the other goalkeepers, doing a little bit of one drill that they were doing. Nothing else. All the other posts that they've been having have been collaboration posts of, Alozie got caught up. Her club did a collaboration post with the Super Falcons page to say, she's been caught up. Or CAF Women's Football, they are promoting Group C, so they collaborated with Nigeria. Like, sometimes it pains me because it's like people will come and say, AyoT, you're not spending as much time talking about these things. And it's like, I'm not there. I don't have the first-hand information. And it's like those people that have the access, those people that have all the information they can, those people that have the unlimited bank of contents, they ain't doing nothing. So it's like, I just wonder, like, we have a tournament, we're the defending champions. We're going to defend our crown. And we literally get nothing from this tournament. The last post they made was 3 days ago. That's the only thing we've seen from the tournament. We don't know who is training. The only updates they give us is, this person has arrived in camp. Okay, she arrived in camp. What else is happening in the camp? Like, what are your thoughts on all of that and just the lack of attention and information that they put out in the public?
I was just laughing when you said that because I wish I could say it, but I can't, unfortunately. Here's the thing. Let me put it this way. Don't blame the people who are handling the content. Let's leave it at that, because it's not their fault. So let's leave it. You and I can talk about it maybe later, what I can tell you is that hopefully by the end of this week, you should see more content coming out. So it's not because they don't know what to do or how to do it. They are just, like I said, just I was talking about administration here, where you're talking with somebody and you agree on something, and then next thing you know, there's forces pulling out from different directions. It's almost a similar situation here. You have people with ideas, with content thing, with this and that, and how to execute. But, end of the day, you have pushes and pulls from that are out of your control that you cannot do. So I trust me, I totally understand where you're coming from, and I know, but I think I have a bit more information on that it's not available to share. But hopefully by the end of the week, we should have that should be rectified somewhat.
Hopefully, because I get pained when I look at national teams like Ghana. They hire a new video analyst. They do an interview with the video analyst. He's coming to talk about what he wants to bring. New goalkeeper coach is coming to talk about it. I'm seeing pictures of Ghana in training every day. And I'm like, it's because if you mention like England, they'll say, you're comparing us to England. I'm looking at Ghana that is just how many 1 hour away from us, and I'm saying like, how can we not be able to? So I hope that things change. I know that there's a lot of all this content, all these things. There are a lot of people that struggle with. They'll give one person job today, next tournament's nice, another story. But hopefully things change, because Nigerians need to be excited for the WAFCON. We need to be excited to support the national team. That way, people will come and watch our content more. People would appreciate more with Nigerian football, and everything would keep going in the right direction. But thank you very much, Colin.
No problem. And keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I know what you mean when you say that you want to focus on the Super. The one advice I can give you, especially hopefully building up to 2030, which we pray and hope Nigeria qualifies for, is that you've got the expertise now with the Nigerian national teams. Now, expand it a little bit into other African teams, because as much and pick and choose, not all of them. Just do a bit of pick and choose. Who are the top? Let's say the top 5 African countries. Say Ghana. I won't say Morocco. Okay, so now let me break it down. The top 5 Anglophone African countries. Because that's where you're more able to, well, not Anglophone, but West Africa, because when you go up to the Arabic side, the Egypts and the Moroccos and stuff, it's a bit more complicated for you. So my thing would be focus more on Sub-Saharan Africa. So Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Senegal, Ivory Coast, possibly South Africa. And then you can even look at Morocco because of how they're coming with. Now, the reason for that is that based on what I have done so far, what I've seen, those are your highest traffic generating national teams. So you want to expand a little bit to those ones. And when you do that, you don't have to focus on everybody. Just look at the top players in the national team and just focus on those. Now, what that does for you going into, say, 2030 is that even if Nigeria doesn't qualify for the World Cup, right? But at least you have a base of at least 5 to 6. Don't laugh because the truth is that at this point, if you're a reporter in Nigeria, you don't want to have your livelihood, or you don't want to have your limited to Nigeria, because there's been so much position you want to be able to position yourself in a way where you have alternatives. So focus on those ones. Now, by the time 2030 comes along, make sure that you can put yourself in a position where TSN can see you and know that you are the expert in African football. Even if it's only 3 or 4 of the people, the countries that you're focused on make it to the World Cup, you'll still get yourself a solid base of being there. Then you can come out and talk with authority on those players. So that's how you set yourself up. Because now for them, those guys, don't forget, those guys in, especially North America, they don't see one country, they see it as Africa, not as Nigeria or Cameroon. They just see Africa. So once you're able to put yourself in that position where you have expertise here, then you can say, yes, I'm there. So make sure you put yourself in their faces. If you're doing content, share the content with them, tag them, whatever it is, everything. But just make sure they can see your content, because here you have to think of yourself, and you blow your own trumpet so they can see you and be aware of you. So, and then once in a while, I mean, they've got a couple of African players in their team. There's Kone, there's Promise. What's the other boy's name? Sheyi. I think Sheyi's Promise. So
no, Promise, David and Tanya Oluwaseyi.
Different, yes, exactly. So talk to those guys. When you talk to those guys, find a way to talk to those guys, and then collaborate with them, whether it's TSN or national team or whatever it is. But make sure you have, or even if you don't collaborate, even if you don't talk to them, but at least do some storytelling around them and target. So once they see that and they start following, they see the content that you produce, and it's a very Afro-centered content, then you're putting yourself in a good position where, even with the Women's World Cup, that one is the first one that comes up. Do your content, make sure that you can get some Canada-related things around. I mean, like with Esther now, who's playing in Canada, do a lot of content on Esther, tag the Canadian, the club and the league and so on. They see that you do all of that stuff. Just make sure you get them so you're in their faces and they can see the content that you create. and then you put yourself in a position where either 2027 or 2030, you have the opportunity to work with these people.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Colin. We will speak behind the scenes or try to get you on the podcast in the future to, hear a little bit more about your stories and everything, the ones that you can speak of.
No, Allah. No, that's fine. I have a lot I can speak about.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, bro.
All right. Okay, that was Mr. Colin, the veteran in this industry, man. He's been doing a great job for a long, long time. And that means that we have now crossed the 3.5 hour mark for this Naija FC Podcast episode. Again, guys, you remember, I always say, this is why we cannot be on TV, because on TV, if they give you 1 hour to speak, we're going 3.5 hours. When we started this show, we said it would be 1.5 hours. We increased it to 2 hours. Now we are doing 3.5 hours. But I mean, I'm sure that you guys have been enjoying the engagement. It's not every day that you have somebody like Colin coming on to share his opinions and stuff on there. And I appreciate him for even just being here in the first place. Please do not forget to hit the like button on the video if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We're live every single week. In between, there's so much content that is going out: interviews, previews, analysis, and so much more. You will not be starved for content if you are subscribed to EaglesTracker, the home of Nigerian football. This has been another fantastic episode, if I do say so myself, of the Naija FC Podcast with me, AyoT, and my co-host.
Thank you, guys.
My co-host has forgotten himself. But thank you very much, guys. We will see you next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.